I'm desperate to hear what you say about her.
Yeah, and I am too, because I don't think she can firm any more from the parade, because she's on the toe. She's got a bit of a wintry look about her.
RSL Missile Stakes, and let's have another look at what's happening for you in the on-track action. Elise, the favourite, best back, 140 to 130. Vega Days 550 to 6, 550 to 650 now for Le Romain. Invincible Gem, Invincible Gem.
Back now in the rough and racing. Invincible Gem left well. So did Vega Days on the outside, and Le Romain's right there. Dissolute showing good muster, and Elise can just drop back and trail the leading division. We haven't got an established leader as yet. It's Vega Days on the outside of Dissolute, and the roughie of the field, Dissolute, really making his presence felt, and he's going to lead from Vega Days, who's firing up a bit now in second. Le Romain third from Invincible Gem, and Elise just covering a little bit of ground as they link up with the side section of the course now, and Dissolute in front from the keen-going Vega Days, who moves up to eyeball Dissolute at this point now, and Elise Bowman can barely hold the mare, and she's fast improving into the race. Elise striding up to join the leaders now from Invincible Gem, and Le Romain is last. She sustains a long run, Elise, under a half Nelson, and Elise leads at the 350, 2 lengths clear from Le Romain, battling on in second. Then Invincible Gem, Vega Days is dropping out, 200 to go, and Bowman starts to shake the reins at Elise with a healthy 2-length lead on Invincible Gem, going into a clear second. He's being pretty kind to Elise in the missile, with Invincible Gem making a late rally late. Elise is going to win it by a neck. A very confident Hugh Bowman there. Elise by a neck on the line to Invincible Gem, who really tried her hardest. I think Dissolute ran third in front of Le Romain, and Vega Days fired up badly early and cost himself any hope.
Well, Elise, she gets the money there, 4, 5, 1, 3 and 2 across the line in the Smithfield RSL Missile Stakes. And Ronnie, how'd you like to be the thrill seekers at the 75-metre mark?
No, it all looked under control there. He may have just stopped riding 1 or 2 strides more sooner than what I would have liked there, and then he just give her another little shove there. But she made a long move, and she was just too good for them.
Bivwak from the last prep, to me, gets the verdict narrowly over dubious. Not much in it. The market doesn't have much between them. Excess funds looks an exciting prospect.
Well, not a lot between the top two in the market. Bivwak and dubious, sort of going head to head here between the two. 280, 290.
Gates are back and away. Bivwak was away quite well, not as fast as dubious, who led them with Dirty Work the inside. Sebricate drives through to almost dispute the lead. Bivwak fourth the inner, followed by Excess Funds and Star Surprises last. Onto the course proper at the 800 metres, driving through under Nolan. Sebricate led Dirty Work a neck. Excess Fun slides up to third out wider. Bivwak fourth the inner. Dubious snicks back to fifth. Star Surprise is last of the 6 at the 600 metres. Sebricate the leader by a neck to Dirty Work, and then came Excess Funds a length and a quarter off the speed. Bivwak behind those needing some luck. Dubious niggled out heavily as they come around the turn. Star Surprise is back with it. Sebricate at the 300 metres led Dirty Work by a length. Bivwak now eases out 3 wide, doing it easily. Then Excess Funds, Dubious and Star Surprise. Sebricate at the 200 metres. Now Bowman lets down Bivwak, and it exploded. Bivwak goes to the front, pumped away hands and heels. 2, 3, 4 lengths in front, it canted in. Bivwak did it easily. Sebricate second. Third Dirty Work from Dubious. Didn't look comfortable today. Then Excess Funds and Star Surprise. What a brilliant display from Bivwak. $3 and $1.40. Hugh Bowman for James Cummings and Godolphin. What an exhibition. Sat just poised behind them, just needed that ounce of luck, and just gave it a couple of little snatch ups at the 250, and off it went. Bivwak.
Hutchie said before the break, it might be one that there's a few options for the quaddie punters as far as the betting goes. Liar's starting to come in as we speak. It's into $3.50 now. Exhilarates, the stablemate, has had support of late. That's around the $6. $7 Sizzle Fly, Cheerleader $7.50. A Lankan Star got in as low as $8. It's out to $8.50. An Absolute Flirt at $9. Pinsec, also from the same stable.
Who settled up Liar, the Blue Diamond winner.
Well in the yard with some race fitness. Just in another turn returned to $8. So our Bet Easy market mover.
And away they go. Pretty good line towards the outside. Sizzle Fly jumped away quickly, not as fast as Rumble Dole or Cheerleader, who scorched forward. Ballarosa the inner. Lankan Star's not too far away with Absolute Flirt out deep. They were followed next by along the inside Excused, and also driving through between horses is Lie to improve her position from Sizzle Fly wide and midfield. Next along the inside La Falaise, and then came Exhilarates towards the back of the field. Now Excused second last, Pinsec last. Cheerleader the front runner, led by a length. Absolute Flirt, Rumble Dole, Ballarosa fourth the inside. Sizzle Fly out wide, improving her position from Lankan Star, Liar. Then Exhilarates and well back La Falaise with also Excused and Pinsec. Absolute Flirt took Cheerleader. Then Sizzle Fly on the premises from Rumble Dole, Lankan Star, Exhilarates. Liars back to third last. Absolute Flirt goes for home at the 200. A length and a half in front of Exhilarates, who's coming hard. Absolute Flirt grabbed by Exhilarates. Exhilarates over the top, scorches away. Exhilarates, that was soft in the end. A length and 3/4. Absolute Flirt. Photo third. Pinsec got firing late with Liar and Excused. Not too far away was Sizzle Fly and Lankan Star. That was outstanding by Exhilarates, and Godolphin have set the place alight today with their 3-year-olds. Bivwak was superb in the vein, and now Exhilarates resuming today has been outstanding. The Magic Millions winner this afternoon. The filly by Schnitzel, win 3 at start number 8.
15 or 20 minutes, but it's still clear favourite over Behemoth, which is at the moment just around that $4 mark. The one they don't like out of the top 6 or 8 in the market is Haunted. That continues to go out, and that's $6.50.
More to side with him, and that's nothing against Be Good to Your Mother. A lot of time for that galloper. I think she'll run a race, Fundamentalist, and Haunted can...
To go all clear, get it racing. Antar away fairly. Grand Rosso sprung the gate in front of Be Good to Your Mother, and also Fundamentalist, followed then by Longleaf, Behemoth, Haunted. Next, Ken's Dream, Vacillator, Antar back to the end. Be Good to Your Mother at the 900 metres out, sped them onto the course proper by a length and a quarter. Second, Fundamentalist, followed by Grand Rosso, Haunted the rails. A length, Ken's Dream, then Behemoth. The inside next is Vacillator. Antar second last, Longleaf at the end. Be Good to Your Mother heading towards the 600 marker. Contained speed by a length to Haunted. Then Fundamentalist, a length and a half. Vacillator, Grand Rosso, Ken's Dream, then Antar. Behemoth is back to second last and held up. Longleaf last. Be Good to Your Mother comes up towards the turn at the 400 metres. It's rolling about a length and a half. Haunted, Fundamentalist, then Antar. Longleaf to the outside. Behemoth still last. It's Be Good to Your Mother at the 200 metres. Haunted's getting up on its inside about 3/4 of a length away. Be Good to Your Mother has another kick. A length Haunted, then Fundamentalist, Antar. Be Good to Your Mother punched out at the 50. They're roaring at home, and it's going to win. Be Good to Your Mother scored a length and a half. Haunted, Fundamentalist third. Behemoth late for 4. Then Antar, Longleaf, Ken's Dream, Vacillator, and Grand Rosso. Well, it was the horse you wanted to be on right from the get-go. Things didn't pan out for Behemoth, was in traffic. Be Good to Your Mother was just looked so comfortable in the lead, was doing it easily. And
it's sort of holding at that price pretty well. It's well backed. Hartnell second favourite as expected. Sort of under that $4 mark. It's been up and down a little bit as well. It's at $3.70. $7 for 50 stars. Cliff's Edge $9.50. $14 Canadian.
Winx Stakes.
Well, Mystic Journey, the more I look at the race, the more I think she really should be winning this. She's an excitement machine. I know there'll be more to come, no matter what the result today. Let's hope she gets even breaks, because she does look a real star in the making. Outside of that, obviously Hartnell, he's been there, done that. He'll run his race.
The best back runner for $2.05 for Mystic Journey. Hartnell just been up and down, as we've mentioned a couple of times, back to that $4 mark.
Data has a decent line, and away they go. Samari going back to second last with Nerf Bosk. Hartnell began really cleanly, straight to the lead with Cliff's Edge. Mystic Journey right behind them with Harlem pushing up. Sikandrabad fifth the inside as they settle. Going off into the lead, Cliff's Edge comfortably by a length and a half to Harlem on the first turn. A length and a quarter Hartnell, 2 lengths Mystic Journey. The champ would spot the lead about 5 lengths at this stage, and they were followed by Sikandrabad, and then came on the outside 50 stars with Trap for Fools. They were followed by Caned Knedner, Mr. Marathon Man towards the end of the field, Samari, and at the back of the field, Nerf Bosk at the 700 metres. Cliff's Edge in front by about 3 lengths. 2 in second, Harlem a length and a quarter away to Hartnell. They were followed by Mystic Journey. Then came the inside Sikandra Bat from 50 Stars, Trap for Fools, Mr. Marathon Man. Then came Knedner, Samari, and at the back is Nerf Bosk. So Cliff's Edge has them running up to the turn. At the 400 metres, 2 lengths to Hartnell, who queues up with Harlem. Mystic Journey to the outside. Then Sikandra Bad, 50 Stars, Mr. Marathon Man. Cliff's Edge at the 200 metres in front. Mystic Journey now unleashing down the middle, followed by Hartnell, Sikandra Bad. Cliff's Edge at the 150. Mystic Journey, it has got it now. Mystic Journey moves up, takes the lead, and the journey continues in grand style. Mystic Journey, 3/4, Cliff's Edge, Hartnell third, fourth Sikandra Bad. Then came Mr. Marathon Man, 50 Stars, Knedner. Next, Nerf Bosk, Trap for Fools, Samari, and at the back, Harlem. Mystic Journey at 2:10 and 1:20. Anthony Darmanin was a little bit closer today, as Adam Trinder thought she would be, but she was in clear air and she's hooked to the middle of the track. She looked hard to beat from that point on. Cliff's Edge has given brave resistance, and Hartnell was competitive, as he always is, the 9-year-old. But Mystic Journey, number 11, has kicked off her Cox Plate campaign in great style. 14 starts for 11 wins now, in a time of 1:24.46. 1:24
at home, but it's really pleasing to get them back to the races and see them do what you trust that they're going to do. You can be as confident as one thing, but they've sort of come to race day pressure and do it. And I thought she was great there today. She was soft. Anthony wasn't hard on her in any regard. Still showed will and determination, and it's going to hold her in really good stead moving forward into his preparation.
We heard you speak to Jane pre-race.
The ground is fine in most instances, but she's just one of these fillies that really appreciates flint hard ground, shows a massive acceleration, and today she was good, workmanlike, but soft on the line.
You've obviously got plenty of options now moving forward. Would you like to have a month off and go to the Makybe Diva over the 1600?
That's my ideal preference. So I'll take real interest in a presentation here now directly.
$2.30.
Yeah, it certainly does. So not alone, very, very well backed here.
Greg, look, I love True Detective. I feel that he's made nice natural improvement from his last start performance, whereas Lucicello, I feel, is...
Who's in? We're ready now for the up-and-coming stakes. Red light is on. And the 3-year-olds are set to fly. True Detective, the favourite. Gates open now. They're off and racing, and he's jumped a lot better today, True Detective. He's running about third in the early stages. Whiteout Superium jumped well, together with Deference going up the fence, and Famous is bursting through. So Deference and lengths off the lead. Deference leads down the side by a length on Famous. 2 after Superium. Theory's quickly improving along the rails. Then came Pandano. True Detective now cluttered up between runners, with Edison improving on the fence. Then came Lucicello, the Greys third last for Mandela, and Avon River is last. Deference leads coming to the turn by 2 on Famous. Theory continues to improve, then Superium. True Detective's getting to the outside. Edison close to heels. Lucicello 2 behind the favourite. At the 300, Deference in front, but True Detective quickly moved up on the outside. Superior between them. It's True Detective and Superium stride for stride. Could be a race on here. True Detective can't beat off Superium. Superium's coming back. Superium lifting on True Detective, and Superium got up to win it by a head. True Detective, there's another second. Lucicello third, then came Edison, followed by Avon River, A Theory, Deference weakened out.
And beats True Detective. Well done, Duff.
I think he's a nice horse. I think there's more to come. I want to see the head on here again. There might have been similar to the previous race, but...
This 50, Superium shifts out, makes contact just inside the 50. He was a neck behind, and then the second horse, True Detective, runs Superium to a head, and they were comfortably satisfied. Had that interference not occurred, then the second horse would have won the race. So True Detective gets the protest upheld. 3, True Detective, the new winner of race number 3.
More to come from him. Obviously, True Detective comes at him here. This is where the Superium fights back, ducks out, and we'll talk about the protest in a minute. But they singled out there. She was good again, Lucicello, I must say, and Edison was ridden a lot quieter than we expected. And
Superium comes out to meet True Detective, and there's the big push off the line. And when you look at it, it is inside the 100. When you're watching that head on,
I think it's inside from the line, and I did exactly what I was required to do as under the rules of racing. I stopped riding my mount, made a pretty concerted effort to pull my horse away from the second horse as we made contact, and the eventual winner was the best horse on the day.
The stewards find that approach superior. Over the final 35 to 30 metres of the finish of the race, you run the horse back down to a head. The stewards are comfortably satisfied that had that interference not have occurred, the True Detective would have finished in advance of superior. For those reasons, we uphold your objection.
So I should have kept riding the horse along?
No, you shouldn't if you did the right thing, but you can't protest. You can't protest against yourself, Glenn. If your horse shifts out...
No, but if I kept riding, I'd win by a long neck. If I kept belting him...
No, well, that's the obligation. Hey, I'm not going to argue about it now. We can talk about it later.
It's a joke.
I beg your pardon? Did you say it's a joke?
Yeah, because
okay. We'll see you later, Glenn. Thank you.
I did what I was under the rules of racing. I stopped riding.
All right, we'll speak to you later, Glenn.
Okay. Glenn Boss got into trouble. Fined 1,000.
Fined 1,000.
Let's just deal with that first.
Well,
Glenn,
he does have a point.
You've got to pay the fine. That's how.
He did have a point with his comments, though, didn't he? That if he hadn't have stopped riding and straightened, he would have won the race, and it would have been a much bigger margin.
Was he penalised more for riding to the rules? I don't know.
Yes, he was.
I personally feel if both those horses went straight, and everyone's got a different opinion, and I must say my vested interest was with Superior, so I could be my theory could be thrown out the door quickly. But geez, I reckon if they both go straight, the Superior wins that race. Honestly, I do. It's very strong. Those last 4 strides in her recent trial, she captured everyone's attention in the Percy Sykes. And
on favourite, the much hyped number 3 Libertini. Tommy Berry rides for Anthony Cummings.
Yeah, just a shorter break of 105 days. The 2 trials are outstanding. They're out there for everyone to see. We saw her gallop between races last week. She looked like a panther there. Look, if anything, she probably has a
couple of nibbles at odds. Let It Pour, 13, 14 back to 13. Pretty Brazen, 15 into 13 now at $14. And continued support for the one, $41 into...
Sheraco Stakes, the red light is on. Stand by for a start, and the gates are back now, and they're off and racing, and jumping away quite well was Villamai, looking for the early lead. Pretty Brazen away well, and the favourite Libertini's right up into 3rd, followed by Let It Pour, just drifting back a bit from Tenley. Then Still Diamond and Flit is the last one. Pretty Brazen's gone up on the inside of Villamai, and the speed's pretty genuine here at the 800 metres. Villamai's pretty keen on the outside. Libertini's just cruising behind them, the short price favourite, just trucking along at the moment. Well clear from Let It Pour, followed by Steel Diamond, then Tenley, and Flitter's the last one. 600 metres to run. Pretty Brazen the inside of Villamai. The leaders go stride for stride, and just behind them, Berry's got a very good hold on the filly Libertini, just peeling her 3 wide now, followed by Let It Pour and Tenley going between runners into the straight. Pretty Brazen and Villamai stride for stride. Berry hasn't touched Libertini as yet, and she just cruises up on the outside. Now he pushed the button, and away goes Libertini. Dashes 2 in front of Villamai, then Let It Pour and Flick going between them. But this powerful filly with the Group 1 bloodlines is going to roar away in the Silver Shadow. He's right down at the end. How cosy. I think Flick nicks 2nd and nose in front of Let It Pour. Villamai close up 4th, then Tenley from Pretty Brazen and Steel Diamond.
A star is born. Here is Libertini doing it oh so easy, and I'll check this time. She's broken 1.8. 17.93. Libertini, Tommy Berry, Anthony Cummings. It was easy to watch.
What have we got here? What have we got here? The sky's the limit. Is she just a pure sprinter? Can she stretch that speed out to 1400? Can she stretch it out to a mile? I don't know, but she's off with a bang, and what everyone...
Hootson's class record was 1.864. Santa Ana Lane's track record is 1.745. Libertini's run 1.793. I'll give you the breakdown. The last...
She is that good, and today's sort of another step in proving that. And, you know, I thought she could win as comfortably as that. I thought a couple of the others might have run on perhaps a little bit more strongly. I didn't expect the race to be run as quickly as it turned out to be, but but she's that adaptable. It doesn't really matter.
To sprint and run away from them, running that...
Something to talk about, isn't she? You know, like that's all... She's got these fillies races against her own age, you know, and sex at a mercy. But when you see a performance like this, just owned this race, simply brilliant, and then she backs it up on the clock, you know, being a 3-year-old filly, and then, you know, the track was probably playing pretty quick, but in comparison to the day, this was sizzling. Sizzling. What can you say about the opposition? I think Flit will be a different situation by the time we get right through to the mile. I think that'd be a lovely target for her. She just got a mile written all over her. Let It Pause is a real little try. Vellamai just didn't settle, and knocking at the door. As far as the Everest is concerned.
1:7:45 Centre Anna Lane. 1:7:45 TJ Smith, a dominant performance. That was 1:7:93.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah.
And she was eased down. That's the big factor about her. She is, as we saw her as a 2-year-old, I always remember Ronnie really liking her first up against Bivwak, and I remember seeing her and thinking, gosh, she's going to be a lovely 3-year-old. And when you see them and they develop into being a really nice 3-year-old, and the way that she's never really been let go in the last couple of runs that she's had, I think that they've got... Well, where do they go with her? She looks to me physically like a sprinter. Like she'll obviously be pushed out.
Yeah, that's right. Do you mess with her? Do you mess with that brilliance?
Yeah, she looks like a sprinter. She's strong, she's compact.
Well, I'm not sure how much she's left, because even when she pulled away from the main bunch, still felt like she was waiting for him a little bit. So I'm not sure. It's very exciting, and you know, her mentality is probably her biggest plus. You know, she's very quiet, very calm. She relaxes well, and even I pulled her up down the side there, and she just stared around for a few minutes. You know, so she's just beautiful horse to have something to do with, and hopefully I can stick with her. Yeah, she's right up there with some of the better horses I've ridden at the same stage. You know, when them horses, some of the better horses I've ridden, going for the grades, you could tell they had some X factor about them, and she gives me that same feel.
All right, we'll come back on, wouldn't Jerry Harvey?
More comes the Show County Quality, and we're starting the main quality round week. Let's have another look at the on tracks for you, where Deprive is $3.30 into $3.20 still support Baller, $4.60, $4.80 back into $4.40, and then Nibbles at odds Conte Partiro is $17.19 back into $18, Mandillion 41 into 20.
Outside, so we're just about set for the Show County Quality over 1,200 metres, and the gates are back now. They're off. Deprive jumped out okay. Hartley's out the back, and Dothraki and Mandillion were the first two into stride. Catesby really revved up, going to join the leaders, and Baller moves right up behind them, followed by Deprive on the fence. Bonamie deeper out on the outside of Contapatiro going. Catesby rolls to the front, out by a length on Mandillion. Two after Baller, Dothraki the outside. Then came Deprive on the white cap, fifth the fence, further back to Contapatiro as they race up towards the home turn. Bonamie deeper out from Hartley, then Delectation Girl from Trope, and Cascade in as the last one. Catesby spins the corner in front from Mandillion, then Baller, Deprive towards the inside. Will just need to find a little bit of room now at the 250. Catesby in front. There's room for Deprive to go through. Baller makes the move on the outside, and Baller and Deprive go to the front together from Dothraki, Bonamie and Trope with the last shot of them. It's Deprive in front, Trope charging home, Deprive in front from Trope wide out. Oh, close. They're wide apart. Deprive and Trope on the outside. Photo finish. Bonamie between them third, and Contapatiro charging at the end. Then came Cascadian from last. Further back to, then came Catesby from Hartley, Delectation Girl, Mandillion, Baller and Dothraki. Cracking finish.
Here he comes, he's coming quick, quick.
Whoa, that's close.
Now this shutter cam will be next up, but what will it shut out? Here's the shutter cam. Oh, dear me.
Still can't pick it.
Dear me. What is that?
Deprive it is.
Inside?
Inside.
Inside. So we're just confirming that. Nose. Number 12, Trope is second. Number 3 has run third. Have a look at that. There is a margin for the inside of a nose. James Cummings, Rachel King. Had everyone stumped.
Wow, yeah, look, and what a marvellous job this horse has done to Pride. That's 5 straight Randwick wins, just keeps lifting the bar, lifting the bar, lifting the bar, and to get him in with 53.5, he's just been guided through his classes all the way through by Godolphin, and it's hard to do, and he did it. This horse, Trope, he's just got that, you know, he had the awkward draw and had to go back, but he was well ridden. He's just got that style that's going to bring him undone more often than not. I think he's loaded with talent, that horse, but a lot has to go right for him there. Bonami was really good at 1,200 metres, and I thought Patira was excellent there. She lost a bit of momentum.
Happy Clapper. Hugh Bowman jumps on for Pat Webster.
Blinkers at Randwick and Happy Clapper. It's a good combination. A lot of talk about his latest trial. I don't think it was as bad as people.
One of the afternoon, the weight for age, Winx Stakes is worth 500,000 over the 1,400 metres, and Unforgotten has trialled well.
Yes, she has trialled well. She trialled against Avilius, and I thought she went as well as Avilius. She's naturally a longer price, so might bung her in as top selection. Avilius definitely a serious horse and has to be a major contender.
The red light is on, and they're all set. The gates are back and they're off, and Le Romain jumped out well. So did Samadou. Happy Clappers very handy in the early stages, with Best of Days moving up on the outside. Then Kings Will Dream, Invincible Gem pushing through on the fence. 2 further back to Very Elegant, followed by Avilius on the outside of Unforgotten, and 3 further back to Young Star. They find their positions, and Samadou takes the lead out by a half on Le Romain. Best of Days goes to 3rd. Happy Clapper strides to 4th, the outside of Invincible Gem. 2 further back to Kings Will Dream, then Very Elegant racing a bit keen back in the field, which is nothing unusual. Then came Unforgotten. Avilius is second last, and 3 lengths behind him is Young Star. Samadou ensuring they go a good gallop here at the 600 from Le Romain. Best of Days, Happy Clapper being quietly ridden. Then came Invincible Gem, Kings Will Dream, Very Elegant pulling out 3 wide. Unforgotten back on the fence. Avilius being felt for by McAvoy now as they turn the corner. A good 8 lengths off the lead, which is Samadou. 3 in front from Le Romain. Best of Days. Now Happy Clapper. Bowman starting to push away at the veteran. Invincible Gem coming off the fence. Avilius starting to wind up 6 off them. Happy Clapper is grinding. Samadou a big leader from Happy Clapper. Invincible Gem and Avilius. Samadou still in front. 50 out Samadou. Samadou causes the boil over. Leads all the way on the Winx Stakes. Happy Clapper game in second. Then Avilius, Invincible Gem, followed by Kings Will Dream, Unforgotten. Further back to Best of Days, Very Elegant, Young Star. And last of all was Le Romain.
The tape. Samadou. I want to go back and check the tape and make sure Lizzie really tipped that. Has run them along in front and has given nothing else a chance. Number 6, Samadou, a 6-year-old gelding, trained by Björn Baker, ridden by Tim Clark, wins the first Group 1 of the new season and defeats the old boy Happy Clapper. What price?
Nations Capital Race, the Canberra Cup, and from Winx to Samadou, hasn't it got a good ring to it?
And this horse didn't look like being run down. When they were coming down the side, Tim was able to get a bit of a breather, and it was looking pretty good.
Yeah, and I needed the breather before I let go too. So, look, he's been a good horse. He ran in the Breeders' Plate as a 2-year-old. We left that day disappointed, and he's been a great ride with the owners up and down, and we've done plenty of work with him. I've got a great team. Jason, my form.
When you looked at the field and you realised you were the only leader in the race and you knew you had a fit horse, even though the price, were you growing in confidence?
Oh, it's hard to get too confident. I thought when Dreamforce accepted for the other race, we might be a chance. And as it was, last preparation with the blinkers on. He's a quick horse, this bloke, and good bunch of owners, and we'll have a good night, no doubt.
Well, you're getting 7. A horse called Pablo's Pulse won this race at 500 to 1. Well, this wasn't 500 to 1, but a 40 to 1 pop saluted.
Yeah, look, it's all about, well, it's style. It's the style of racing. You know, when you get a horse like this that gets an uncontested lead, you know, they can overcome, you know, the weight for age factor and catching horses on the hop with maybe an extra gallop under their belt, and this is exactly what happened here. This horse had trialled brilliantly with a dig in the ribs, winning by more than 7 lengths leading into this race, and it's amazing. You know, he, as you said, Liz, he thought he looked fantastic in the yard. A few people sort of give him a rough hope. I don't think anyone give him really a winning chance.
You had him, what, top 4?
Yeah, in the morning I thought he was 4th pick, and I said he could get his number in the frame because of his racing style. But it was very hard to tip a horse like that on top in a race like this. But
unless you've got a trained eye.
Unless you've got a trained eye.
What did you see?
I just looked at all of them in the ring, and I thought Happy Clapper would be hard to beat going into the race. But then having a look at him, he was probably didn't parade as well as I thought he should do first up. Just a little bit backwards in his coat and just getting a bit warm. And then I went through them all, and I thought majority of the horses could have paraded better, and none paraded as good as Sam O'Dowd, and I thought he could definitely run top 3.
So there's a lot.
There's one horse I want to particularly follow out of that race, and it's a horse called Kingswell Dream. I thought his effort was excellent.
Sky Racing Active, San Dominico Stakes, only a field of 5, but an exciting contest coming up, and we have to deal with a heavy 9 today, which obviously isn't ideal.
Libertini.
They're all in. Let's go to Darren for the San Dominico.
Odds on is Bivwak, following his brilliant first up win in Melbourne. And they're all set. They're off and racing now. And Exhilarates will go back, and Anna Heed's going to lead from Royal Popcorn, who's revved up by Ahara in second, but Anna Heed's going to hold the front. Bivwak in third, just staying a bit wide, followed then by Exhilarates going up the fence, and Catch Me's firing up in the early stages. Needs to switch off there at the rear, so Anna Heed leads the way. And Bivwak went through the centre there. Bowman wanted to clear the passage and put the hot favourite in second position, keeping Royal Popcorn deep out. Then came Exhilarates, who's very close to them, and Catch Me travelling a little bit better now. It's Anna Heed travelling well on the home corner from Bivwak, and Royal Popcorn, who's buttering up for his biggest payday of his career, but already off the bridle turning, and Exhilarates is coming off the heels of the leader. Anna Heed leads into the straight from Bivwak, is still cruising. Exhilarates a length and a half, and Berry's flat to the boards there on Exhilarates. Bivwak going after Anna Heed. Exhilarates is winding up on the outside. Here comes the colt. Exhilarates, he went straight past Bivwak, and Exhilarates got a length in front. Bivwak, Anna Heed fight out the minors. Oh, he's a star colt. Exhilarates came away to win it by 2. Bivwak second, just in front of Anna Heed. Then Catch Me, and the roughie Royal Popcorn last.
Well, what an exciting colt he is. They come here today not knowing whether he'd handle a heavy track, and he's won impressively. Number 6, Exhilarates, trained by Team Hawks with Tommy Berry on board, has got the money.
Bill hopefully comes through that well, and I know we've got some star 3-year-olds around, but put him up near the top of the list. He's an absolute star.
Bivwak gets winning the San Dominico Stakes.
It's the first day of spring today, and we're already declaring a star is born. If he wasn't born last prep, you just got to, you just, from the moment he walked in the yard, you knew this was going to be more than a contest than $1.30 and a $5 chance. He's a laid-back character. He's got class. He's got quality. He's got presence, and he seems sensible. And look at the acceleration. He showed glimpses of acceleration in his only 2 starts, and we were thinking, hello, what have we got here? And then he does this on a wet track, and surely if you're not excited by that, you're pretty hard to get excited about anything other, considering this Bivwak had already set up his form on a wet track last preparation. He resumed with a win that everyone was saying was the highest rated performance of the year so far. Well, what do we want to say about it?
Tommy, what did you think going into the race? Because
does everything with ease. He's got a beautiful action. When he gallops, he feels like he's floating on air. So he's not one of them big, heavy horses that hits the ground hard. So obviously he gets across the surface quite nicely. And I was very confident. I was confident going into the race because I knew how well he was going. He trialled so well for me, and he's come back in great order. And then going to,
I think Bivwak, if you're taking a line just strictly through him, I think Exceed should be giving the clear nod to at this stage. And I wouldn't be giving up on Bivwak at this point. I mean, I was too impressed with that.
So he goes to the Golden Rose from here, Exceedance?
Yeah.
They both go to the Golden Rose?
Both of them continue on to the Golden Rose. Of course, we know once Bivwak won down at Caulfield at last start, he firmly went to the top of the market for the Golden Rose. But speaking to James Cummings yesterday, he said, of course, Hugh Bowman noted that he probably just wasn't as comfortable on the surface yesterday. James wasn't so convinced. There was something about the way he was thinking about it. There was just that query of, that's not what I wanted to see.
It's always hard to assess in a race like this, the McNeil Stakes, because we see the really high-class two-year-olds having their first run as three-year-olds versus those like a King.
You talk about Pedra, you talked about for the Hayes yard, and Jane gave a bit of a rap for in the yard. It's the one that's shortened up at the moment. Super Set is still your favourite, and it sort of won that battle with King of Hastings, but all of a sudden the Hayes runner is into the market and under the $5 mark, so it's $3.80, $4.20 and $5 more.
1,200 metres, the three-year-olds are away. Super Seth away fairly. King of Hastings out fast with Bakali out wider. Just behind those, Sebricate, Shotmaker, and then Super Seth. Piedra's going to ease back with also Missile Mantra and Atlantis. 950 metres to go off the rails. Bakali with King of Hastings driving up on the fence. A length and a half away, Sebricate, then Super Seth. Further back in the field, Shotmaker, Piedra, Missile Mantra. Outlandis last at the 700 metres. King of Hastings led and comfortably by a length, Bakali. Then Sebricate behind those from Super Seth at the 600 metres. Piedra next, the outside of Shotmaker, followed by Atlantis. And at the end of the field is Missile Mantra. So into the headwind they continue towards the turn at the 400 metres. King of Hastings being cuddled just in front of Bakali. Super Seth now rousted 3 deep. Behind those needing a run, Sebricate. Piedra down the middle of the track from Shotmaker. Then Atlantis and well back Missile Mantra. King of Hastings at the 200 with Bakali. Super Seth 3 wide, then Piedra. Sebricate can't get a run. It's King of Hastings kicking. Super Seth is chasing hard. King of Hastings grabbed by Seth. Super Seth has dropped on them and won the McNeil. Photo second, King of Hastings or Sebricate, who looked unlucky, then Bakali. Behind them, Piedra, Missile Mantra, Shotmaker, Atlantis was last. Super Seth for Anthony.
The Freedman Quinella there. Super Seth defeats King of Hastings, who was the leader. He looked to be travelling beautifully, but Super Seth with Mark Zara coming over the top of his good mate Benny Mellum. Zara and Mellum, Quinella it for Anthony Freedman. And Anthony Freedman has 2 really progressive 3-year-olds on his hands there. But
it's taken the edge off him. You know, I said that he took the speed right out of the race. You've seen a lot of runners up and behind him, you know.
There's a horse that we saw make its debut a little bit earlier on in the year. It was disappointing in the Anzac Day Stakes for the 2-year-olds at Flemington, but it returned with a bang yesterday.
Yeah, he led in that race that you mentioned. He was disappointed, and maybe that didn't suit. But once again, we talk about getting the ideal run yesterday, and there definitely was a theme, and he seemed to get, it was a fantastic ride, I thought, for Mark Zara from what could have been a tricky position. He's ended up in the 1-1, of course, and the horse just in front of him there in third position was very unlucky. King Hastings, I thought, was game in defeat, but yeah, I'm not sure though. Yeah, I think it tactically was sort of an interesting race. Then once again, they didn't get that quick Corey. A lot of good runs in the race, but once again, about 3 lengths. I mean, apart from the winner, there was sort of 3 lengths covering the majority of the field.
Obviously, Sebricate, it was the run of the race. You know, he was really desperately unlucky with Craig Williams aboard, but
the market for this important race 6, the first leg of the quaddies, the boys discussed just before the break, and Vega Magic is into odds on now. It's into $1.95. It's the best back runner in this race. Outside of that, Ball of Muscle, just a little bit of a drift in the last few minutes. It's $4.20, $4.40. We'll probably turn it back out to $4.40 again. $5.50 for Guitra per Glenore, Crystal Dreamer, and it's Icy on Streets of Avalon at $61. All of a sudden, there's 3 runners in this. It's Guitra at $4.
The back and away. Guitra took a little bit of a leap and goes back. Ball of Muscle began fast with Crystal Dreamer. Malaguira behind those with Vega Magic. Then Bandapur, Streets of Avalon. Second last, Glenelg, Guitra last. Onto the course proper at the 850. It's Ball of Muscle in front. Contained speed at the moment. By a length and a half, Crystal Dreamer and Vega Magic sliding up on the rails. Streets of Avalon in fourth, followed by Bandapur, Malaguira. Guitra next the inside and Glenelg at the end of the field. Ball of Muscle attempts to stack them up with Vega Magic Magic, the inside rail, about 3/4 off the leader. Crystal Dreamer third, then Streets of Avalon, Bandapur, Malaguera, Guitra waited with Glenelg last. Into the straight, 300 metres to go. Ball of Muscle off the rails, kicks into the bend about a length and a half. Vega Magic, Crystal Dreamer, Streets of Avalon, Bandapur, and then Guitra behind those horses. It's Ball of Muscle kicking for home at the 200. The favourite's a shot duck, so the leader is Ball of Muscle at the 100. Crystal Dreamer's the threat. Crystal Dreamer moves up. Guitra late. Crystal Dreamer has won it from Guitra second. Ball of Muscle tied for third. Then Bandapur, Streets of Avalon, Glenelg, Malaguera, and at the back of the field, Vega Magic has finished stone motherless.
Crystal Dreamer first up from a spell. The veteran 7-year-old who hasn't won for 620 plus days has resumed in style, and Damien Lane with an electric ride at a massive...
The story was Crystal Dreamer, as we said. It was third in this race 2 years ago behind Voodoo Lad and Sosie Bond. Was coming off a 50-week spell, and it was the rank outsider, Hutch.
Yeah, and it got the right run. I think it was a perfect sort of storm for it yesterday. Just got a lovely trial on the race behind Ball of Muscle. Once again, Glenn Schofield staying away from the inside with Vega Magic. This is painful watching for me. I'll be honest, I was on Guitra.
Let's let you have a spell and relive some of the...
From that, Simo, from that amount of time off and... to do that.
Absolutely, but I think these horses will struggle. You know, if they go through the Scalacci into the Everest, I'm not sure that this grade, you know, is enough to be competitive in a big race like that. But certainly, you know, full credit to the winner. Terrific training performance.
Vega Magic's disappointing return. He was noted in the Stewart's report. Prior to that being filed, Damien Oliver spoke after jumping off him.
He just didn't appear to enjoy that horse on his outside and him on the inside. He didn't seem to absorb the pressure very well, and he stayed on one leg, which was his wrong lead the whole way, and didn't change. And it's not always a good sign for a horse to get their second wind when they're doing that. But
what's your experience when horses will change leads, as mentioned there?
If they don't change their lead leg, I find that they're hurting somewhere because they're reluctant to flip their lead because I feel they've...
Gary, well, this is just a terrific race, isn't it? And Elise, a couple of days ago, they started to get out in the market, but all the money's come back for Elise now. It's going to end up running the best back runner of the day. So it is favourite. It is at $3.20, $3.30, around that sort of price. It's been up and down the last couple of minutes. $3.90 for Scales of Justice, second favourite. Hartnell's had support at $7.50. Be Good to Your Mother, spinning around that $9 mark. And
the two that kept themselves really...
Elise here, some big money coming. Bets at 25,000. Bets at 50,000 on Elise. Now it is clearly the best result for punters, for Bet Easy punters today. Worst result for us as a book. It's in under the $3 mark, Elise. It's got $3 there, but it's just turned into $2.90. So that's a big move here for the...
Bloodstock Memsie Stakes, the $1 million Memsie at Group 1, and the field is set to go. Ready to run. Set. Signal, racing in the Memsie. Pretty good line too. Caesar's going back to the end with Humidor. Cliff's Edge out fast. Be Good to Your Mother's charging forward out wide as expected. Dispatch not too far away, and also Fundamentalist followed by Scales of Justice. Hartnell sixth, the inside of Sosie Bond, Material Man, then Blackheart Barter Hood. Elise third last pulling, followed by Caesar and 2 lengths Humidor. To the side of the track, 9.50 out. Be Good to Your Mother is the leader by a length and a quarter. Dispatch 2 lengths to Cliff's Edge third, and fourth is Fundamentalist, a length and a half. Scales of Justice 5 lengths off the lead. Then came Material Man, Hartnell, Sosie Bon, Blackheart Bart, Caesar, a Hood, Elise, 2 lengths Humidor. Be Good to Your Mother heads towards the 600 metres, stepping up to a Group 1 for the first time and led by a length and a quarter. Dispatch, Cliff's Edge third, Fundamentalist, it's outside. Then Scales of Justice, Material Man from Hartnell midfield, then Sosie Bon, Blackheart Bart getting going, tracked by Elise, then a Hood, well back Caesar and Humidor. Be Good to Your Mother, 300 metres to go, swings for home, led by a length and a half. Dispatch, Scales of Justice to the middle from Cliff's Edge, then Hartnell the fence from Sosie Bon, Elise right down the outskirts. Be Good to Your Mother at the 150, Scales of Justice dropping on it, and Elise late with Sosie Bon. Scales of Justice at the 50 takes the lead from Sosie Bon, Elise, and Scales of Justice 3/4 to Sosie Bon, Elise, Hartnell 4, then Dispatch. Be Good to Your Mother, further back a Hood, Blackheart Bart, Humidor from Fundamentalist, Caesar, Cliff's Edge, and Material Man was last.
Oh, remarkable training performance. Lindsay Smith brings Scales of Justice back from injury, and what a preparation he's having. He was terrific in the Bletchingley, went to Adelaide, narrowly beaten in the Spring Stakes, and Dean Yendall gave him a peach of a ride there, and Scales of Justice, the 6th win in the career of in the Group 1 career of Dean Yendall and Matty Raymond and the whole team. They're hugging and kissing, and why wouldn't they be? Scales of Justice wins. There were some great runs in behind Hutch, but well, on the speed map, Scales of Justice was going to get the gun run, and he certainly did.
Yeah, they were rolling along at a good tempo with Be Good to Your Mother in the race, of course, and was there for...
Out there to top him off for today. He just had a superior run through the race. They went on a good, solid tempo. Sort of produced him early, like I did when I ran first up here. Let him rip, and he just took off for me, and I thought, oh... I was thinking, I hope these buggers don't get near me at the 100. They sort of closing in, but he fought them off really easily, so onwards.
Yeah, he was, but he didn't lose too many admirers in defeat. He was really well supported yesterday. What we did see, of course, in the Memsie was a good, solid tempo with Be Good to Your Mother rolling out forward. Elise going back, running on well, but yeah, I think got the gun run in the race. Scales of Justice was a deserved winner in a truly run contest, and a lot of the best performances.
Map perfect for the horse though. Dean Yendall will give it a sweet ride. I reckon if Damien had his time again on Elise, I reckon he would have tried to posse up a little bit closer. I think she got too far out of her ground, but I thought the run of the race was Old Hartnell. I think he's got a good Group 1 in him.
Let's pick up Matt Hill's call of the Memsie.
Then Sosie Bond, Blackheart Bart getting going, tracked by Elise, then a Hood, well back Caesar and Humidor. Be Good to Your Mother, 300 metres to go, swings for home, led by a length and a half. Dispatch, Scales of Justice to the middle from Cliff's Edge, then Hartnell the fence from Sosie Bond, Elise right down the outskirts. Be Good to Your Mother at the 150, Scales of Justice dropping on it, and Elise late with Sosie Bond. Scales of Justice at the 50 takes the lead from Sosie Bond, Elise and Scales of Justice, 3/4 to Sosie Bond, Elise, Hartnell 4, then Dispatch. Be Good to Your Mother.
Corey, we saw the vision there at the top of the straight. Craig Williams had a decision to make on Hartnell fence or come off heels. He had to zig and zag, and it maybe cost at least a place for Hartnell.
I reckon he should have zigged instead of zagged. Look, I heard Benny Mellon's comments.
So following Blackheart Bard, who wasn't going well enough to drag Damien right into the race on Elise. I thought her run was fantastic in the circumstances, and you know, I take Corey's comment on board about Damien could have gone forward, but from that 1400 metre start at Caulfield,
it's tricky.
If you go forward and then they kick up on the inside of you, all of a sudden you're 3 and 4 deep, wide and turning sharply left-handed. So
I think she would have been better off on that though, in hindsight, don't you? I mean, being a little bit wide, but being within reach, because just the way the race, I mean, of course it's easy in hindsight, but for her to have to make up that...
Really good job. Damien Oliver, Elise.
She ran a great race. I just would have liked Material Man and perhaps Blackheart Bart to cart me into the race a bit more. They just didn't really take me into the straight, and the winner was able to pinch a bit of a break on her, but I thought she was very admirable and very game in defeat, and she ran a terrific race.
Dwayne Dunn, Caesar.
Yeah, disappointing. Expected a lot better from him than what he put today.
Luke Nolan, Sosie Bond.
Yeah, he was terrific again. Obviously, he's probably not quite suited at weight for age. Like, he does get a fair bit of weight off these horses, but back to handicap. But he's in career best form, and it's really pleasing. I haven't been as pleased to probably run second in a Group 1. You know, I'm really happy, really chuffed with him.
Damien Lane, Humidor.
I feel like it was just a pass mark. He didn't.
Yeah, he's racing fantastic. He's a 9-year-old. He put it to the best weight for age horses that we have now in Australia, and great second up. He's he got a good barrier draw and made the most of it. But I'd still love to be able to challenge horses on the outside of him rather than going in between them. But he's racing fantastic.
Memsie now. Lindsay Smith made a big move. He was one of the stars of Western Australian training ranks. He picks up, he moves to Victoria. Scales of Justice, of course, won recently, but now he hits a Group 1 with a horse who'd won a railway, probably should have won 2 railways. Here he is winning the Memsie.
Yeah, good ride by Yendall. He's a good horse. We've all known he's a good horse, and Lindsay's got him going really well. He won the Bletchingley with him, and not a lot of luck in Adelaide. New lease of life there, old mate Sosie Bond, hasn't he? He's got enormous again there. He's put 2 together. I can't believe it. Elise had a lot to do. Maybe the old patience thing, come against them there. Ewe got a little bit of criticism for being impatient last time, so I think that backfired a little bit. Although, jury's still out on her as far as Everest, the Everest.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe really is that dynamic fresh horse, isn't she?
Yeah.
She is just so good.
Hartnell should have nearly won that. Hartnell got held up for a fair bit there, and he never got into his rhythm. And that just tells you.
Libertini that hasn't been said during the week.
Pretty much. I mean, she's alive and well. Works good. She's turned up here and presented really nicely again. And I think, you know, that she's going...
We cheer her home. We all love a good horse on the rise, and this filly gets to prove that she is one here today. Villamai will run much better. I think she can sneak into second spot here. 5, Let It Pour, always gives her all, and I'll throw in 3.
Thrill Seekers to win here today. Double figures bar here. Kiyomichi's now the...
Here's Winx odds today. The gates open, they're off, and she jumped out with them. But Villamai's the first into stride with Kiyomichi showing good muster on the outside going to second. And there's Libertini going straight to third with the head tucked in her chest. Followed by Darling Point being restrained on the outside of Bright Rubik. Then came Probabile. And Let It Pour is taken back to the rear of the field. Villamai racing keenly in the lead by 3/4 to Kiyomichi. And Libertini staying off the running rails in third position. 2 off them, followed by Probabile improving. Then Bright Rubik, Darling Point can't get any cover. And Let It Pour is the last one. At the 600, Villamai leads the way still by 3/4 to Kiyomichi. And Libertini trucking along in third, just shading Probabile from Bright Rubik. Then Let It Pour. And last of all is Darling Point into the straight now. And Villamai tries to slip away. 3 now in front from Kiyomichi. But Libertini, she's still on the bridle. Berry just starts to nudge away now at the filly Libertini. And she gives chase now to Villamai. Villamai being tackled by Libertini. Let It Pour goes to third. We're going to race on. Coming back Villamai. Libertini and Villamai. Nose and nose. She's going to win Libertini. But boy, she had to earn it. Libertini just beat Villamai and the Furious. Third's a photo between Let It Pour and Probabile. A massive gap back in the field to Kiyomichi, Darling Point and Bright Rubik.
Oh, yeah, you can smile now, Jerry. You can smile now. How are you feeling at the 100 and the 50? She's done it. She's won. Libertini, only just. Villamai gave her the fright. Gave the punters who laid the long odds on the fright of their life. But she prevails. Libertini. Tommy Berry on a windy day here at Royal Randwick. 2, 4, 5 and 3. 5 Let It Pour runs third, and number 3 runs fourth, Probabile. Libertini by further, but a win's a win, and here she is. That's Villamai in front and Libertini with the drop on the 2 leaders.
Yeah, some people are looking at this win differently, I know. After that incredible performance first up, it's hard to back it up second up, I say. Villamai relaxed so much better with those gear changes, and she's run the race of her life here. You know, I can understand at this stage you'd expect her to run away and win by 2 lengths, and then she just sort of come to the end of it here, and the other filly really fought back. So it gets to the stage when you get these boom horses, you know, and sometimes, you know, people are disappointed when they win. But considering she's still run time on the day, you know, quicker than an open class sprinter in Baller, you know, a fair bit quicker as well. So there's no way in the world I can bag that performance. Is she just a sprinter? I still think she will run the 1400 of the T-Rose against her own sex. And I think she settles well enough. Yeah, next run will tell us, but...
Are we ceasing all talk about the Everest with this filly?
From my point of view, I would say that there's no chance she'll run in the Everest. That would be my opinion. Right. So I think at this stage it's 100 to 1 she'd run in the Everest. So
I've had 100 to 1 winners before.
Oh yes, one of them was mine.
It was 2 out of us.
Let's see her in 2 weeks, and will it be if she's not...
Runners are in the yard for the Concorde Stakes. Duff, I had a
real warrior. You can't ever rule him out. A great draw for him, and the track and distance...
Rides for Tony Gollan.
Yeah, well, the leaders are getting a fair go here today, so he's had that 9-length trial win.
It's up as well to race 5 of 7 at Mildura. Very interesting race coming up from Randwick as we start the main quaddie Group 3 Concorde Stakes and Everest build-up. You're with Nature Strip to make an Everest statement.
Yeah, I'm with Nature Strip, but not a huge amount of confidence, Marto.
Strip Graf and Zoo Style. Only 6 runners, but what a sprint it is. It's only a Group 3 Concorde Stakes. And
racing, and Redzel hit the gates running. Redzel's going to lead from Zoo Style. They run 1 too early. Sunlight next from Nature Strip. Then Graf and Parada's going to see them all. He loves to lead Redzel, and he's going to control the Concorde field. Leads from the Queenslander Zoo Style. 2 further back to Nature Strip, who's really travelling strongly in 3rd position. McDonald can't hold Nature Strip. He's come off the heels of Zoo Style. Then came Graf from Sunlight, and 2 off to Parada. Redzel leads around the home corner from the unbeaten Queenslander Zoo Style. Nature Strip has to go early. He's travelling so strongly, Nature Strip. He's going after Redzel at the 300. Redzel still being cuddled. Nature Strip's come off the bridle. Redzel's cruising in the lead. Parada's winding up, and Graf getting a late split. It's Redzel in front. Coming home well is Parada the outside, but Redzel, he's clinging on. He's back, and Redzel makes it 3 in a row in the Concorde. Beats Parada, and Graf in 3rd position. Nature Strip beat himself way too keen. Then Zoo Style and Sunlight was last in.
it's on again. It's still alive. He's hoping for a 3-peat here in October. He's got the first one out of the way, the Concorde Stakes. Parada flashes home into 2nd spot. Graf in 3rd spot, and let's ask more questions about Hero. He hasn't won 3 Everest yet, but he's won 3 Concordes in a row.
What a horse. The more they...
He's working well, so, you know, there's every chance that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with this preparation as well.
A 3rd Everest would be a thrill, wouldn't it?
Well, imagine that. We were lucky to get 1, let alone 2. But there's a lot of time between now and then. There's improvement to come in him, so...
Outside his own track record of 55.73. That's outstanding time. In the last 600, 32.67. 32.67. Broke 11. 800 to the 600, 10.67. 6 to the 4, 10.8. 4 to the 2, 10.42. Home in 11.10. Redzel wins the Concorde. When we come back to Randwick, we'll bring... assumes his role as leader, and Parada turns the corner last of the 6.
The first surprise was Karen being so aggressive out of the barrier, knowing there was a mad leader in the race in Zoo Style. But he knows this horse. He knows this horse like the back of his hand, and he knows he runs a fast 1,000. And he just took that leader out of play there, and he was just brilliant. What's that, 3 in a row now? 3 Concordes in a row. In saying that he was brilliant, Parada was superb. If that's not a brilliant Tab Everest trial, I've never seen one, from a horse that's never raced at 1,000. We know he gets better with a run under his belt. He can handle it wet, he can handle it dry, he can adapt to tempo, he can be ridden on speed, as we saw last year. He can be ridden back in the field when the speed's on. That is a sensational Tab Everest trial from Parata there, and you know, it's been well documented. 31.61. That's unheard of. Although, in comparison to the day, you know, it's still very, very fast, but it was helped by the conditions on the day. I thought Graf was great. No issues with him. Zoo Style wasn't up to the mark. I thought his strength was to lead, and they weren't aggressive enough. Sunlight 1 out of 5 lame, which is, they get over that. And she gets better with racing. The pop in the race was obviously Nature Strip. Maybe this trying to settle him's not working. You know, we know he's a fast horse, and he's got to use maybe he's got to go back to using his strengths, or back to the drawing board with him. But all in all, it's about the...
Looking forward to seeing how he progresses from here.
Tommy Berry, Pirata.
Yeah, I think you've just got to watch the race to see how well he went. He's come back in much better order this preparation. We've been saying he's bigger, he's stronger, he's better. I think that showed it today, and he's on the right track and very excited about the rest of his spring.
Brenton Avdulla, McDonald, Nature Strip.
Yeah, as it was evident, there was a lot of pace on paper. It didn't work out like that. He fired up for about a furlong through the middle and finished accordingly.
Luke Curry, Sunlight.
Yeah, she was okay. Just come back. She was going to be wide, so came back and they quickened so well. Had her chasing round the corner, but she'd had enough late, but we knew she would fitness-wise.
Brad Stewart.
He's had to say, let's go in here. Just at the moment, now just look at this field. Santa Ana Lane, we believe, going to the shorts. Osborne Bulls, maybe the shorts. Redzel, maybe the shorts. Parada, shorts. Classic Legends, shorts. Libertini aside. Elise. Now, Acadia Queen will go around next week in the Theo Marks or the Sheraco, as will Enticing Star. Chris Waller hasn't locked in one or the other, but they both will run in.
He is setting sail for a third Everest. Remarkable performance. Nearly $16 million in prize money.
I find it remarkable that there's so much more narrative about Nature Strip when he goes out than there is about this horse that's won three. He's been an absolute superstar.
He's the last horse to come off the bridle. I mean, he just completely controlled that race from start to finish.
And they've got it. I wasn't sure whether that last prep when he had enough. What a run from Parada. This was the best ranked race of the day, and it was the best run of the day.
Run of the weekend.
Yeah.
But Redzel just knows when the Everest.
And Simo, you called this. We've got to bring everyone inside. We've got a little WhatsApp group going during the course of the week. You said Wednesday that if they were going to try and hold him up, it wasn't going to work, and that's how it prevailed.
So I've been watching a lot of Nature Strip's trials, and I've been, obviously privy to.
Away. Then a really intriguing race, the Tramway Stakes at Group 2 grade over the 1,400 metres. Eckstein is your best value bet of the day.
Yeah, thought it was, and drawn OK. She wouldn't be too far off in the run, I'd imagine. We'll make it 14-238. Of course, the most...
460 on track, so they're the ones that are, are pushing him out, maybe with his pattern as the track's dried out. And there hasn't been a lot of pressure in the races, though, so we might get a little bit more than we expect in a race like this come this stage of the day. So
they're coming now again for Tiakau Shark. Let's get up to Darren for the Tramway.
Dreamforce. Amber Willow's going to take Dreamforce to the front from Invincible Gem. It cleared them from the outside draw. Penske up running third, followed by Archidemus, and Eckstein's handy in fifth, looking to drop in and get cover. Then came Colding on the rails. Tiakau Sharks up running midfield there. On the inside of Star of the Seas. Further back to Mr. Seawolf. Then came Lejeuse. A break in the field too. Fantastic together with Chaotic and Lifeless Ordinaries last of all. So Dreamforce dictates the speed at the 800 metres by a length, and Invincible Gem. It got across pretty swiftly, followed by Penske third, then Archidemus, followed by Colding. Then came Eckstein. Further back to Star of the Seas, who's babysitting the Kiwi Tiakau Shark at the 600 metres. He's locked away on the inside at this point. Then came Fantastic, followed by Mr. Seawolf, and Lejeuse heads the rest coming around the turn. It's Dreamforce, 3/4 to Invincible Gem. Archidemus pulling out, followed by Penske. Then came Eckstein, and the Shark looking to work into the clear, 5 off them. Dreamforce has got a good kick. It's Dreamforce, 4 lengths clear from Invincible Gem. Eckstein, Tiakau Shark working into the clear, but Dreamforce is a mile in front of the Tramway. They can't catch him. Amrawilla lands the big treble today. Dreamforce led all the way. Tiakau Shark grabbed second in the last bound there from Eckstein, followed by Colding. Then came Star of the Seas from Mr. Seawolf, Chaotic late, followed by Archidemus, Lifeless Ordinary. Then came Fantastic, Penske back on the fence from Lejeuse.
Dreamforce was marked urgent by Nasrawilla, took up the running. There's no Brutal, there's no Winx chasing today. He ran away from them, 340 and 150. There was a lot of money to say Dreamforce would do that today. Now, for the Shark supporters, you can be happy with that because he's hit the line well on an ep.
Done. Thank you.
Good boy. OK, we'll hear from John Thompson shortly after the Tramway forged and continued throughout the day. Dreamforce was able to capitalise on all of that.
Yeah, he was, and an evenly run race, which probably didn't suit a few back markers here. And he just, when you play to this horse's strengths, and he gets a rest for 200 or 300 metres, this is what he can do. He can accelerate, pretty similar to Summer Doubt, and just put a field away. I think his task was made a whole lot easier when Penske didn't really contest the lead early, and he was just far too good there. The Sharks were circling yesterday in the yard, and they didn't get a kill, but I think they'll be they won't be hungry by the end of the carnival. That's for sure. He's
Don't ever bag him.
No, I won't be bagging him either. No. In fact, I think it was the second best run of the day.
He's huge.
Outside of Parada, he was very good. Great Epsom Hope. Looks a lovely horse. Looks a lovely horse.
Race number 7 is the Bobbingham Chelmsford Stakes, 1,600 metres at weight for age, Group 2. And our mounting out is brought to you by...
Big field, but he's got a wind in his sails at the moment after that previous race.
Well, he looked perfect when he paraded here first up, and today he's absolutely no different. He's spot on.
His advantage is a slight advantage on pace, you'd have to say, as this track's got drier throughout the day. He did cause that upset first up, and well, was it an upset? He's a bold striding horse. Should cruise across here and can control this race as well, and we know
it's $2. That was the opening quote this morning. Got as short as $1.80 mid-afternoon. It's now $2. There's support for Unforgotten, won this race last year, 8 to 6.50. Ditto Girl Tuesday. Now, I mentioned this when we first came on air before midday, and that has continued 10 into $6.50. Semadoubt, last start winner, 9 to 10, back into 8.
Racing. Great line out of the gates. Wide out Semadoubt was clearly first into stride from Angel of Truth. Harapoor handy. So's Finch and Patrick Aaron. So Semadoubt hasn't crossed them as yet. Got a lot of stayers underneath. Then came Sir Charles Road. Girl Tuesday pushing up underneath Unforgotten. Avilius is out deep from Morris. Natoya getting through on the fence. Then Sheraco from Brimham Rocks. And Young Star is the last one. Semadoubt moves forward now. And now it takes the lead from Angel of Truth. So the 2 leaders are there eventually. Semadoubt 2 in front to Angel of Truth. 3 further back to Finch as they find their positions. But Semadoubt certainly burnt a bit to achieve the lead. Patrick Aaron in 4th, followed by Harapoor. Then came Sir Charles Road. Girl Tuesday at the fence. The favourite Avilius, 3 wide the trip. On the outside of last year's winner Unforgotten, who's getting pretty close to heel. Sheraco moves up the outside. Then came Natoya from Morris, Brimham Rocks. Young Stars last. The Group 1 winner Semadoubt rolls inside the 550. 2 lengths clear from the Derby winner Angel of Truth. 3 further back to the star. Finch off the bridle. Avilius is taking closer order. McAvoy really putting the favourite into the race, coming around the corner. It's Semadoubt 2 in front of Angel and Truth. Now Avilius goes to 3rd, sustaining this long run. He beats off Finch, Harapoor, and then came Unforgotten. But Semadoubt is full of running at the 200 metres. He's 2, 3, 4 in front. He's going to do it again, Semadoubt. Semadoubt leads all the way in the Chelmsford. Goes on to win it from Avilius, Gold Tuesday and Harapoor. Photo for the minors. Then came Finch from Young Star. Further back to Angel of Truth. Then Brimham Rocks from Unforgotten to Toya. Further back to Morris. Sir Charles Road from Patrick Aaron. And Sheraco drops out of it. Tim Clark, Top Cat's done it again.
And it was easier than 2 weeks ago. Semadoubt. Well, he's no longer the giant killer. He is the real deal. 9.40 and 2.40. Avilius started to chase at the top of the straight, but Semadoubt has actually put a margin in Avilius and gone further away from them. So what are we dealing with here? A Winx Stakes Group 1, a Chelmsford Stakes Group 2. He's a leader, he's a free-rolling leader, and he's going to take some beating in other races to come.
Well, he had to do work in the Winx Stakes. Today, he played games with them. He played games with them.
He wasn't that price yesterday, but still, he had people doubting he could do it again.
Well, there's no doubting from this point on, that's for sure. Once he led, and then there was a margin to the 3rd horse, and the chasers were your Finches and horses that were 2 milers that were never going to cart the field in, cart the chances into this race, put it that way. And I know you've got to have the horse to do it and the speed map to do it and all that, but this was just a gem from Tim Clark. He jumped from that wide barrier. He just sat there. He said, they're all going to concede to me. They didn't concede the lead to him. They pulled back for him. He just stayed on the outside fence there, come across under his own steam, and then quickened at the right time. I suppose we have to sit back and take notice of him now. 2 Group 1 weight for ages. They're not easy to do.
Well, 1 and 2. That was a 2.
Sorry, Group 2.
But it was very similar to the Group 1 that he won before, but it's just...
It'll be
in the book, it's a Group 2.
He'll go to a Group 1 again next time, and he'll be a lot harder in the market in the Colgate with the old George Main. Yeah. And he'll be competitive if that speed map is similar to that.
That's the thing, Ronnie. What
do we do with this Avilius? He had too much to do yesterday. His run was good. He was wide, no cover, no card into the race. He's obviously needs a better setup than that, and he needs a wet track. Not a wet track, but he needs it softer underfoot. But It was a good run. It was a very good run. Finch is your Melbourne Cup horse as far as our local Sydney team's concerned.
He was pretty good first up.
He was terrific. I loved pull a run out there. Harapur was okay, but a hard race to read going into the future, other than a couple of those stayers were good.
OK, let's see. Horses that are one-dimensional. Samadout's one-dimensional. It leads and it wins at the moment. It did it in the Winx over 1,400 metres. We thought with the extra ground yesterday, the market indicated that they thought Avilius would be able to reel it in, but it wasn't the case.
No, and I thought he got away some nice sections down the side, and like when you've got the pattern in your favour, the tempo in your favour, you can get margins, and that's what happened here.
They just left him alone, exactly like they did last time out, and he just won as he liked, didn't he?
Has he gone another level at this horse?
I reckon he has.
You have to say that.
I reckon he has, especially the horses he's beating.
So where now for this horse? This is intriguing. 1,600 looks like it can get more ground. It's won a Canberra Cup, admittedly not at the real pointy end of sort of the 2,000 metres and above. But
what about the George Main?
Where does Bjorn Baker take him?
I'm not sure. I have no idea. I'll leave that to the trainers. But maybe, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe the George Main with him. But maybe you're right. Maybe the George Main with him. But he's going very well. I wanted to see Avilius hit the line a little bit better yesterday. I thought it was a good run, and you know, I haven't sort of
to steer clear of Avilius after 2 runs this campaign.
Yeah, I think his form thus far has been just fair. I know yesterday they had no favours. He was 3 wide facing the breeze, and Kieran tried to put him into the race earlier than his previous start. But he's finishing alongside horses like Harapur and handicappers of not the
now Exhilarates, and we had some big bets, including one at 25,000 just a couple of minutes ago. So $1.90, $1.95 we're about to push out as well. So, but really, there's not a lot happening besides the favourite here. Sassy Salitage is out to $4.20. It was under $4 last time we looked.
There. And they're racing. St Edward's Crown towards the outside, jumped away moderately, beginning well with Sassy Salitage, with also Exhilarates and Tarayev. Cheerleaders not too far away behind those. They were followed by Westport and Pinsec towards the back of the field. 600 to go. Cheerleader the outside of Tarayev. They were followed by Exhilarates. The odds-on favourites got the sit on the leaders. Then Sassy Salitage, Spring Rolls, Westport losing a little bit of ground. Pinsec underneath of her, followed by Sohn and St Edward's Crown. Tarayev tried to ping away, approaching the turn at the 250. Exhilarates moves up a length and a half away. Cheerleader's gone, then Sassy Salitage, Sohn and St Edward's Crown. Exhilarates moves up to Tarayev at the 100. Sassy Salitage down the outer. Exhilarates extends, led a length. Sassy Salitage running a huge race, but Exhilarates too classy. Beats Sassy Salitage, third a photo. St Edward's Crown, I'd say, from Sohn, the bolter who's run a beauty, followed by Tarayev. A gap in the field then to Spring Rolls, Westport.
Terrific performance by Exhilarates, ridden probably against her most favourable pattern. She was second up today. Craig Williams went forward with her, was involved in a speed battle early, then dropped out of it, got a camp on the leaders, got over their heels, and at a terrific turn of foot to win, and win stop.
It was an interesting ride. We'll get through more of that when we speak to Corey in a moment, but I must admit, I thought on paper she'd win this race and win it handsomely. Post-race, I know she worked a bit early. I wanted to see a little bit more, but what did you think, Corey?
Look, she definitely worked early, but I think maybe first up may have taken the edge off her as well, and also the way, like she produced at the Gold Coast. You know, like I know it was a shorter distance and she had to go back because of the bad barriers, but I reckon held up over further, I reckon you'll see a much better horse.
We said yesterday...
It was a tactically terrific ride from Craig, because Sassy Salitage jumps.
For this sprint race, and great fascinating battle between Eduardo and Bonzaway. That's sort of been happening all day. At the moment, Eduardo's sort of holding firm at $3.60, or just holding favouritism over Bonzaway at $3.90. Booker's the forgotten horse out of those three. It's out to $5, and Fartnar got around $6.56 this morning, but back out to $7.50. Profit's thumb is still 5 or 6 minutes since we looked at the market, so $3.80, $4.40. Now Booker's come down to $5, and it's about to come back into $4.80.
All clear, they're ready. Run for the McEwen at the 1,000 metre start away. Everyday Lady began quickly with Ash Law and Innkeeper out wider. Merrill Fartanar's driving through, and also Eduardo. After 200 metres, Eduardo runs the gate, led Fartanar, Merrill. Miss Leonidas trying to hunt across, and they were followed by Ash Law. Next, Bonzaway, Booker. Well back in the field, Prophet's Thumb. Everyday Lady going back with Innkeeper. Eduardo through the gap at the 600, being nosed by Fartanar. Miss Leonidas 3 wide, third. Merrill Merrill fourth the fence, then Bonzaway and Ashlaw from Booker. Well back Prophet's Thumb, Everyday Lady and Innkeeper. So it's Eduardo and Fartanar matching motors up to the turn at the 400. Miss Leonidas behind those, Merrill. Then Bonzaway 4 deep, 3 off the lead from Ashlaw, Booker and Prophet's Thumb. It's Eduardo in the straight at the 150 from Fartanar. Merrill back to the inside and Bonzaway is bombing home down the outer at the 50. Bonzaway takes Fartanar, who kicks back. Fartanar, Bonzaway, Fartanar beat Bonzaway. Photo third, Eduardo Merrill. Then Everyday Lady and Ashlaw. Prophet's Thumb. Then came Booker, Miss Leonidas and Innkeeper at the tail of the field.
Well, Fartanar's made its way back from Dubai and back a winner. He was scintillating here on Monday morning at track work. You saw that on racing.com. And, well, he backs up that sizzling track work with a super win first up, just when Bonzaway looked to have the dream run and couldn't quite get.
You said the fresh record's outstanding. This was a good performance. They sort of picked it up. The pace was pretty genuine throughout as we get the reference sectional data from the daily sectionals. A solid win, Corey.
It was a solid win. Great ride by Jamie Carr. She's riding terrific. Since coming over from Adelaide, she's really made a mark here in Melbourne.
Somewhere, and it was interesting, I think, on the pattern on the day as well, with what we had, and once again, just referencing daily sectionals info here, the winners predominantly lanes 3 to 6 in the straight, so the rail wasn't necessarily...
It wasn't the place to be, and I thought...
It wasn't the place to be.
The way Jamie sat outside the leader and then progressively got wider and wider and wider and finished up about 5 or 6 off the fence. It was in the A ground the whole way. I mean, Bonzaway looked like it was going to run straight past it, and then she kicked late, but I just thought it was an exceptional ride given the circumstances and the way the track was racing for the day.
And I'd be, like, Eduardo's been beaten half length. I wouldn't be giving up on that gallop. I thought Merrill was pretty good, not in the A ground as well. The issue could be more so, a lot of these horses are fresh. What do they do with Fartanar? Because obviously this fresh record's just off the chart.
Just tapers off after that, so presumably they just try and keep it fresh and find another 1,000 or 1,100 metre race somewhere.
Well, the Moya Stakes is basically the race they're going to target. He's run well in that particular event in the past, and I think a lot of the horses out of this race will be going to the Moya Stakes. Interest was an in-time...
One Group 2 Feehan Stakes, 5 away is the feature from Mooney Valley.
I got a bad disease.
Yeah, Richard, this fascinating betting story continues. Now we've got equal favourites at $5, and that's Homesman and also 50 Stars. So all of a sudden, it's 50 Stars is right up there. So this is just, and Homesman is just about to go out to $5.50. So there you go. We're going to have a new favourite very shortly at 50 Stars will be our new favourite. Best of Days is at $7.50. Canedda, $7.50. Got down as low as $6.50. Surprise Baby got down to a ridiculous price of $6.50. That's back to a better price now of $9. As I mentioned before, not much happening for Sikandarabad. A little bit
out to 13, back into 11, but this is a really good push for 50 Stars. Now $4.40, Marto. That is extraordinary.
He continues to tighten in on track as well. $6.50, $7.50.
Ready to call the action. Ladbrokes Feehan Stakes.
Ready at the mile and away they go. The well-supported 50 Stars away neutral. Beau Belmain began quickly. Harlem the inside looking for a spot. Mahamadeus is quite close. Best of Days Homesman trapped for full surge forward. The Chosen One wide. Canedna's about midfield. They reach the first turn. Trap for Fools is going to surge across and lead. From Homesman second. Best of Days third. The outside of Beau Belmain. Then Mahamadeus, the Chosen One fifth. 3 wide. Harlem the rails. A length and a half 50 Stars. Canedna 3 deep with cover from Mr. Marathon Man, Sikandra, Bad Gallic Chieftain, Yalong Prince. Second last Surprise Baby, Nerf Boskers at the end. 900 to go. Trap for Fools at a solid tempo by a length and 3/4 Homesman. 2 lengths Best of Days, Beau Belmain. The Chosen One 5th wide. Then Mahamadeus, a length Harlem, Canedna, 50 Stars from Mr. Marathon Man, 2/3 down the field on the fence. Then came Sikandra, Bad Yalong Prince, Gallic Chieftain, Nerf Bosk, and at the end Surprise Baby. Trap for Fools approaching the school at the 600 metres. A length and a half Homesman. They were followed by Best of Days getting closer. Beau Belmain, the Chosen One from Mahamadeus. Then came Harlem, Canedna 6 off the lead, ridden along from 50 Stars. And then Surprise Baby, Mr. Marathon Man, Sikandra about a long way back. Homesman, Best of Days up to Trap for Fools at the 300. Then the Chosen One, Mahamadeus from Beau Belmain. Harlem held up from Surprise Baby, Canedna. Homesman kicks into the straight at the 150. A length and a half Best of Days, Mahamadeus. But it's Homesman runner-up last year. It's going to go one better. Homesman is going to bolt it in 2.5 lengths seconds a photo. Best of days from Makybe, then Surprise Baby, the chosen one, and next Sekandrabad. Further back 50 Stars, and then came Gallic Chieftain, Mr. Marathon Man, your Long Prince may have done a bit late. Trap for Fools, Bow Belmain, Harlem, Canedna, a gap, Nerf Bosk at the back.
Dominant win to Homesman and a textbook ride by Ben Melham. He pushed him out from the barriers. He ended up getting a beautiful run in the race. Top of the straight, push the button, Ben, was the call from Corey Brown. He pushed the button and sprinted away for a dominant victory. Some nice runs in behind, but All Honours the winner.
All Honours, lovely ride, and you mentioned that pre-race, Corey, that Ben might want to go forward. He did exactly that. It was an easy watch. It was Homesman, and he started this campaign off in the perfect manner for Ben Melham. Like I said, there's a bit of fallout and a few eye-catching runs back in behind. It'll be interesting to dissect all the sectionals as well, but well done to Benny Melham. He can get the job done, Corey, can't he, when he gets the opportunity?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if that's exactly how it went, but I thought it was going to be easy at the start of the week, and then the more I looked at the race, the more I wasn't sure exactly where he was going to end up, but he's a class horse of the field, and ordinary horses don't just get better nosing Caulfield Cup, so he's really thriving down there. He's come back in great order. Yeah, he really just towed me the whole way around, and he's a good horse, and his class showed today.
So what do you... His contender, well done.
Yeah, he was terrific today, and I can tell you there's nothing in racing that would mean more to us than getting our hands on one of these Cox Plates. We've tried many times and come up short, so he's certainly heading the right way, and Benny gave him to try and win one before they changed this iconic race course. It's, you know, I love it here. I think it's one of the greatest places you can ever watch racing. You know, it's easy to say that when you've won a race, but just the whole...
no doubt about it. I mean, when you draw out wide there, I mean, I think he was always going to be positive, so you need things to pan out for you, and I think they did on the clock. The sections after Trap for Fools had got there, and they gave him a little bit of a shave on the way across, but Holmes got into a beautiful rhythm, a nice spot, and trained to the minute first up. He was a dominant winner. It made it difficult, I thought, for some of those back in the field, Corey, just the way the race shape and the race unfolded, but with such a dominant performance, it's hard to take too much away from the winner.
Yeah, no doubt. Benny rode him like the best horse in the race. He's idled up from a bad barrier, and just the way that he relaxed and travelled through the race, but you know, once he pushed the button top of the straight, the race is all over.
Let's have a listen to Matt Hill's call of the Feehan.
A length Harlem, Canedna 50, Baby Canedna. Homesman kicks into the straight at the 150. A length and a half, Best of Days, Makybe, but it's Homesman, runner-up last year. It's going to go one better. Homesman is going to bolt it in 2.5 lengths seconds a photo. Best of Days from Makybe, then Surprise Baby, the chosen one, and next Sekandrabad.
How was that to watch, Nick? Did it go to script for what you were anticipating?
We didn't really have a script, and you know, I heard Benny on in his interview. It's going to be an unbelievably competitive race this year. I think it'll be fantastic.
Nick, can you compare this horse to Faulkner for us, who was able to win a Caulfield Cup and was just edged out by Adelaide in the Cox Plate?
Yeah, different styles of horses, but you know, the similar thing, I suppose, is that they've both got enough tactical speed to be able to win at the shorter trips. You know, Faulkner won the Makybe Diva. This horse obviously won that race, and you know they've got that bit more tactical speed than a lot of our horses have. You know, Faulkner.
A lot of good runs. I think for me the two that stood out was Sekandrabad, who covered a lot of ground, obviously in the race. Got work time in the the second best final 200 of the day, 11:44. Now that and we had some decent sprint races obviously on the card. So that two things, it shows you they went pretty steady and they've built it up. But it was still a huge run and defeat. And the one that caught my eye on the day, more so, because I have a soft spot for Surprise Baby, gee, that was some run.
Yeah, I thought she ran really good. And also the chosen one, I thought faced the breeze the whole way, 3 deep, but stuck on really, really good.
What about Makybe? You know, settling a lot closer than he normally does.
Touch keen as well.
His first up run over 1,200 metres was sensational. I think Matty Hill picked it up in the call, and then yesterday stepping up to a mile, settling a lot closer than he normally does. And I was listening to Nick Ryan post-race, and he was saying how they...
Run super. Wait for age conditions. Good run.
Mark Zara, Yulong Prince.
Yeah, he went good. He's looking for further 2,000. Showed him to be a very fair horse to winner.
Gordon Child, surprise baby.
Yeah, he ran super. Missed the kick a little bit. Was beaten for a bit of speed early. Ended up getting a nice run throughout. And I thought he hit the line really well. He's definitely going well for his next couple of starts.
8 weeks out, I reckon I'd confirm the ride.
It was actually
And you're
next
happy to
week. It was straight after the St Leger.
Okay.
Happy to lock in on the right horse, obviously.
A free ticket into the Cox Plate, but he would have got it anyway. He's a winner of an Underwood. Second in a Caulfield Cup, blows them away over the mile in the Feehan.
Geez, he was a lovely return, isn't it? Considering he hasn't raced since, you know, the Caulfield Cup last year, and he races away like this, he could well be a live wire Cox Plate chance. That's a big return for him. Mahymedes, he can pull out a run like that now and again. Best of days, that's a better run second up from him. The other one to look out for is this Surprise Baby. She's always had he's always had a really good rap on him, and he's considered as a lightweights Cups hope as well, and he got a big pass mark there, but it was all about Homesman. That's a big training effort to get him ready after such a long break.
15. Racing is about to start here at Rose Hill. Race 5, the Dulcify. Castelvecchio's back, True Detective. Good field.
Like tab, Castelvecchio, very easy. $3.80 out to $5. Good support, Superium. $8 into $5.50. And Edison, number 8, for the informed Bjorn Baker camp.
The 3-year-olds are off and running, and jumping very well was Just Thinking is going to charge to the early lead. Subadar and Fasano away well, and Edison's right up on the speed as well. True Detective in 5th early, being restrained a little bit now, True Detective. Superium whooshes up on the outside. My Sweet Fish, Performance going around. Fish, 2 further back, 2. Superium has got cover behind the favourite. Further back then to Persan from Shining Eagle, Castelvecchio, and Shadow Hero sees them all. 9 lengths top end to tail. Just Thinking the front runner by a length on Fasano. Reformist in 3rd, Subadar creeping closer, followed then by Edison. True Detective the outside. Superior is making hard work of it around the turn. He's 2 behind True Detective. Into the straight, and Just Thinking slipped 2 lengths clear. Subadar on the fence goes to 2nd. Then came Fasano. True Detective down the outside. Superium's not in the hunt. Just Thinking a length clear from Subadar, who sticks to the task the inside. Just Thinking starting to drift in a bit on Subadar. It's Just Thinking a half in front to Subadar. Just Thinking keeps kicking, and Just Thinking's going to lead all the way from Subadar. Shadow Hero got going for 3rd. Castelvecchio closing off. Then Superium followed by Fasano, and True Detective has folded out of it, the favourite. Then came Edison from Shining Eagle, My Sweet Fish, Lando Bay, and Reformist after the tough run was last.
Typical Waterhouse style, and now it's typical Waterhouse bot style. Timmy Clark rolling in front on Just Thinking. Subadar couldn't catch it. Did you see Shadow Hero and Castelvecchio? Duffett's
out-toughed him, and look at those stayers. He couldn't get going at all, Castelvecchio, and Shadow Hero, well, he is the VRC Derby horse for sure.
Okay, it's 6-5. Shadow seems more likely this year. It's a horses going towards the Gloaming and Spring Champion. Now, that's not to say that Richard Litter's made up his mind about Castelvecchio. There he is out the back. This is Just Thinking winning the Dulcify.
Lovely horse. I remember Thinking Big burst on the scene this time last year, his brother, but this horse is just as nice. He's on the rise. He's got beautiful, typical, Gay Adrian racing style. He's going to be a force in these next couple of races. Suitable every possible with the gear change in Barrier 1. I think the talking point, I thought Fasano was good there as well. He's more of an autumn horse, but the talking point are the 2 big guns. And when I say the 2 big guns, obviously he's been a boom horse, Castelvecchio, and understandably so. I just think he's in the middle of nowhere now. I think it was the right move to run him at 1,500 first up, and obviously the past 2 Golden Rose winners have run in this race, but it is the Autumn Sun and Trapeze Artist. I just feel that he'd run better in a Cox Plate rather than a Golden Rose.
Well, I guess the options are...
but his problem is that he takes the longer path. There's a horse there like Shadow Hero. Well, I think he's a star stayer. I think he'll win the VRC Derby, and he could be a problem come Champion Stakes Day.
Amazing run from him yesterday, considering what he's fit. I mean, he's quite lightly, as most stayers are, they come to hand quickly, but the improvement that he has in him and the way that he hit the line yesterday, I have to agree. I'm not going to say he's going to win a VRC Derby yet, but I think he's certainly a very nice stayer in the making.
Champions. We've got an air of excitement here in the mounting yard because the big lead up here to the fortnight's time, Golden Rose, worth $1 million. This is the run to the Rose.
Yeah, look, Greg, this is, as I've said earlier on, this is the best race so far this carnival. There's just absolute quality everywhere you look, and of course we're seeing Exceedance for the second time. We're also seeing Prince Fawaz for the first time, and yes. So it's just going to paint a very good picture about what we're going to do in 2 weeks' time.
All right, get in that.
Firmer has been James McDonald and Chris Waller with Kubrick, 12 into 8.50. It's been the most significant firmer in the race.
So Exceedance, there it is on screen. Brass, your top pick.
5.50 to 6.50. The firm today is Kubrick. Off a high of 12 is 8.50.
All right, Mo's Crown's about to come up. Exciting race, run to the Rose. These are...
Rose Hill in the rough, and Bivwak jumped away brilliantly. Hightail was smartly into stride, and Dawn Passage as well as Hightail goes up to push for the lead. Yes goes to fourth, and Prince Fawaz Exceedance. Mo's Crown drifts back. It's going to sell near last with Kubrick. So Hightail at odds makes the running here from Bivwak, and Dawn Passage got down to the fence to be third on the inside of Yes. 2.5 further back to Prince Fawaz on the inside of the hot favourite Exceedance. Length and a half to Kubrick, and Mo's Crown sees them all. So Hightail heads them up down the side by a half to 3/4 on Bivwak. Dawn Passage in a stalking roll third on the inside of Yes. Length and a half further back to Exceedance, travelling strongly. Prince Fawaz being pushed along from Kubrick, and Mo's Crown's last of all. Hightail swings the corner in front from Bivwak second, then Yes. Dawn Passage looking for an inside runner, and a length further back to Exceedance being popped the question. Bivwak takes the lead of the 200. 2 lengths clear from Yes. Exceedance is only grinding. He's one pace. It's Bivwak in front from Exceedance. Bivwak's going to turn the tables and do it big time. Bivwak goes clear for a big win. Yes held second from Exceedance, then Kubrick. Dawn Passage weakened out. Prince Fawaz one paced. Then came Mo's Crown, and Hightail had a shot for the lead, and that really backfired.
Well, he started $1.35 in the San Dominico, and Exceedance went straight past him. Today, $4.10 and $1.40, and he made a one-act affair of the run to the Rose. Yes, a great return. And
They usually are, but they're not usually this good, Josh. My goodness, he's a rocket ship, isn't he, Bernie? I found my position really comfortably in what looked to be a tricky race. So unfortunate for Huey. I've said it to you before, Bernie. I don't like someone else's misfortune to be my good fortune. Unfortunately, that's the nature of this sport. And
important lead up to the Golden Rose. When they met last time, Bivwak was $1.35, Exceedance SP'd $4.80. The market was turned right around. Not that Exceedance was $1.35. Bivwak turned the tables.
Yeah, well, and they talking about times. These colts, they did run time. He was brilliant, I must say. He was masterstroke, pulling the blinkers off him. He relaxed, he sprinted, and he made it impossible for those back markers. Yes was very good. First up, you'd suggest he'd have improvement?
He does have improvement, a lot of improvement. Bivwak actually looked better yesterday than he did in the San Dominico, which I thought was quite significant. Exceedance looked great. There was no problems with him. Kubrick is the horse that's got the huge amount of improvement in him. All those 4 horses who ran 1, 2, 3, 4 are all horses that wouldn't be afraid of seeing improve or peak on Golden Rose Day. It's just going to be the tempo of the race again.
There'll be a lot of that's going to be the talking point. One thing's for sure, they'll scare a lot of horses out of this Golden Rose.
You reckon we're in for a small field?
I think we're in for a small field for sure.
A small but select field.
But very select. But
I mean, that
moment. Nashra Willer, yes.
Yeah, he was super. Look, he felt vulnerable for second place, sort of 100 out, and I love the way he stuck to his guns. You know, he's just proven he's come back well, and he's still got the drive to win races, and I think he's right on track for the Golden Race.
Tommy Berry, Exceedance.
Yeah, look, they've run him in 33.11, so he was never going to win, but I still think maybe a set of winkers or blinkers on him just to keep him a bit more focused. He's losing a length when they sprint around the bend, and he's dropping the bridle on us, and in these better races, when he gets up against the good horses, he doesn't want to be able to do that. So he's going well. His run was great, but he's got improvement there.
James McDonald, Kubrick.
Yeah, super return. Probably just short of his best. 7 furlongs going to suit him much better. He was needed of that run too, so I was very happy with him.
Tim Clark.
Now, Bivwak, Exceedance equal favourites. They both firmed. Yes, 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 Kubrick. 1, 2, 3, 4, Duff. I wonder whether 5, 6, 7, 8 in that market would run in a Golden Rose.
There's so many.
Flit and Fun Star going to the T Rose.
I'd say
Is that
so.
likely?
They're just so dominant, those 4 colts. Don't know.
In the run to the Rose over 1,200 metres, new. Well, horse in the argument, I suppose, for the Golden Rose with Yes, 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 but to the spoils go Bivwak.
Yeah, great run from Yes, Yes, Yes. First up, Bivwak on top of the ground this time. Gains revenge on Exceedance. And look, I thought the win was very good. They got a steady first section. They sprinted home in incredible time. You can see Exceedance still some of the best late closing sections, but Bivwak, Corey, blinkers off, took a position and dominant.
A lot more relaxed up there this week compared to last time out. He's really aggressive last time out, but really relaxed, blinkers off, and back on top of the ground. He was just electric, especially the first half of the race.
To run over those horses when they can run their last 600 in those sort of times.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just electric yesterday. Reproduced the form that we saw at Caulfield to start before.
Yeah, that was some win.
The firm ground's the key to him.
Here's the Golden Rose market. As we said, the 3 from yesterday head this market, and it's certainly one that's dividing opinion, I suppose, after what we saw yesterday.
You'd be happy with Yes, Yes, Yes. I mean, that was a great run. I mean, he was first up, so the other...
Doesn't she look amazing? So we had it clipped when she first come back in, but that's the coat of a horse, thriving and in very good order.
What do you think today?
Nervous. Sort of market puts a bit of extra pressure on her, but I've just come here today expecting a good run, and I think we'll see that.
OK.
Just really excited to have her back at the races.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Best mate.
OK, the Sheraco Stakes, if you're playing odds and evens, and you can check that out in your Tab app or in the venues around New South.
Some odds on track. There's also a little nibble for Pretty in Pink, number 7. Josh Parr and John O'Shea combined 17-18, back into $17. Champagne Cuddle's your top pick. She goes really...
And they're off and racing, and Alassio got it off to a great start, together with Dyslexic, who's right there, and Missy pushing forward. So it's Missy in front from Alassio. Got to double-check this. Yes, that's Dyslexic up running third on the outside of Ready to Profit. And Fasika caught a bit deep on the outside of Champagne Cuddles, and River Racer going through on the fence. Missy takes the lead now from Alassio, and Fasika's doing some work out wide, followed by Ready to Profit, then Dyslexic, and Champagne Cuddles pretty handy. Further back to River Racer from Noir. I am excited, and Pretty in Pink is the last one. 500 out. Missy on the fence from Alassio. Fasika the outside. Champagne Cuddles the widest. Dyslexic right behind looking for room, so's Ready to Profit. It's Missy, Alassio, Fasika. Dyslexic needs a run desperately. Champagne Cuddles winding up on the outside. It's Fasika, Champagne Cuddles. Dyslexic still can't get out. Missy's kicking back on the rails. It's Missy in front from Champagne Cuddles. Fasika. Missy's going to win. Missy by a half length to Fasika. Then Champagne Cuddles. What a nightmare there for Dyslexic backers. It never got out. Followed then by Noir. Further back to back on the inside. Ready to Profit from River Racer. I am excited, and Pretty in Pink.
Yeah, a few runs to look at there, but Missy wins again. There she was, a maiden, back on the 22nd of February when she broke that maiden status, and she's been round in group races, Group 1s and Group 3.
Seeker, 3 wide, no cover all the way. She really savaged the line again, or she was gutsy to the line again, and Champagne Cuddles has battled on well. Didn't get a lot.
Group 3 win the start before, leading all the way.
Great ride. He just stole the race at the start when the
Never
other.
thought she would get across.
Never. Not on any map in the world. You know, Fasika didn't jump as well. She was a very one-paced, and Tommy just seized the opportunity of just going crunch. And then he got his rest, and that was all over because she was the fit filly who'd had a run back. They run 1.2 seconds slower than the 3-year-olds in the run to the Rose. These are open-class mares, so look, I'd have to say the unlucky runners were definitely Fasika, who just brought about her own undoing, but wide, no cover. She's got a bit of bulldog about her, and we all saw Dyslexic there. Actually, it was a great ride to get her into that position, the 1-1, but it just didn't happen for dyslexia.
In those mares race.
Arcadia Queen arriving from Western Australia. She's been here for some time. Bob Peters sent over her an Enticing Star, and they've both got runs in the Everest. So we get to see Arcadia Queen for the first time today. You followed her program.
The race, isn't it, and how far, if we're going to get some pace on, that's what she looks as though she's going to really need. And we saw it in that last race. It was...
She's on the toe and she's fresh. 6-3, 11 and 2. Arcadia Queen. Just give her an even break within 4 lengths of them. You know, in the run here, and I think she's class. Her class will shine. 30-1 Volpe Veloce.
50th birthday for Tui's, and the Theo Marksfield is about to be dispatched now.
Clear.
Ready, and the gates are back. They're off, and Trope immediately taken back to the rear and deployed jump west with Baller quickly into stride on the outside, and Baller's going to press for the lead. Zusane away quickly in third from Redouble, and Arcadia Queen very handy fifth on the rails, followed by Eldorado Dreaming. Then came Tom Melbourne further back to Volpe Velope. Second last is Gem Song, and Trope about 6-7 lengths off at the rear. Down the side, and Deploy holds the front by 3/4 to Baller on the quick backup. Zusane at a handy third, just shading the favourite Arcadia Queen. Tom Melbourne on a wide trip around Redouble. Then came Eldorado Dreaming, followed by Volpe Veloce. Wider out is Trope trying to take closer order, and Gem Song is last of all. A long odds leader Deploy coming around the corner by a length and a half now on Baller as Deploy tries to pinch it here. Zusane in third. Arcadia Queen working into the clear, into the straight, and Deploy swings 2 in front from Baller, and Arcadia Queen revved up by McDonald, and the mare is starting to close in quickly. Arcadia Queen lays it down to Deploy, and they're broken clear from the rest. Wide out Trope is running on, but Arcadia Queen at the 100, 2 lengths clear from Trope, is going into a clear second. Then came Gem Song, but the Queen of the West, Arcadia Queen, too good in the Theo Marks, won it by 2 lengths to Trope. Gem Song third, then came Redouble. Further back to Zusane, Eldorado Dreaming, Deploy weakened out, followed then by Tom Melbourne from Volpe Veloce, and Baller wasn't up to the task.
Well, it's a real privilege to have her here in Sydney. Bob Peters, you'll be happy with that, sitting back there in Perth, watching it from a long way away. Over here, chasing a big prize of the Everest and the Golden Eagle, but she's on her way. McDonald had a big, cheeky look over his shoulder. He could own
ours, and there could well be life after Winx. There could well be. She's got a long way to go, but we've adopted her. I've never heard. That's the biggest cheer we've heard all day. We're anticipating
performance of Arcadia Queen.
Well, he actually won this race on Winx. He was just informing me, so it's a great race for you. And talk about ride a superstar or two.
Yeah, she's a star, all right. She's very push button. She knew it was race day today. She was on her ball, and she settled nicely in behind the leaders and gave a trademark turn of foot and put on the beard. But she's beautiful to ride. And I love how she pins the ears back and has a good crack. A bit like the horse Roosters, he's just trying to pick them for the right day, and it's quite interesting that there's nowhere near. He hasn't screwed this mighty mare down yet, and there's plenty more to come.
Obviously, she came over here in great order.
Sprinter, she's a mile, 2,000 metre horse. She showed a good enough turn of speed, close enough to breaking the track record. What else do you want?
And that's it. She'll have that run, and next time we see her, we believe we'll be in the Everest.
Yeah. You actually said you thought she could win the Everest.
Look, she can
or
win.
She will win the Everest.
I think she's under the eye. Did I say what?
I think you said I think she will win the Everest.
I don't think you like her very much.
I don't get the buzz.
You got upset with me yesterday when I started saying Winx or something, and you got very upset with me.
Yeah, I just think I haven't been taken over by the hysteria of her. I don't think...
Is there hysteria?
Yes, hang on, and she's certainly, that win yesterday was pretty good, but I still feel that she had the favours there, and the finishing sectionals will tell you they weren't amazing.
One thing about her, she does race a lot closer than a lot of Bob's horses. You see a lot of Bob's horses get out the back and storm home. She can take up a position, and they were determined to use barrier 1 yesterday.
They were. They had to. And I'm not so sure she's been out in the back in a lot of her races, because you can switch her off and go to sleep when she's into a prep, and that's what they've done with her. I know the last run there they rode her a little bit closer when she got to the 1800 because she had no weight and whatever. But look, she did everything right yesterday as far as McDonald had to used that barrier. He got her out at the right time, and I don't fall for that. She didn't run the sectionals. You know, you don't run. It was a day they weren't getting near course record times, and she was within 400s.
So what did you think of Trope's run?
That opinion, and anyway, we'll only.
Yeah, you'll find it hard to find a better run than him today. He keeps drawing bad barriers. When he can draw a gate and posse up midfield a little bit, touch worse than that, and not have to look the field every time. He's in simple order. His improvement from his first to his second start was massive. He's in for a great prep.
Nashra Willa Gemsong.
Yeah, drew the outside gate, and I tried to get on Cage for Queen's back and missed it because of the stablemate beat me to it. But look, he finished it off enormous. Always going places.
Tim Clark.
I'm talking weeks and weeks ago about Arcadia Queen. He said, "Don't forget this Enticing Star. Do not forget Enticing Star." The feeling about her.
Have you seen her?
Yes, I have seen her.
Does she? You get the feeling with her? Or?
Yeah, she's nice. Yeah. No,
has anything turned?
Be a queen for the first time for Chris Waller, superstar in WA, and she looks like she's taken her talents east.
Oh, what a performance! Well, this is a really good win.
Oh, she won really well, and the position that James McDonough had her in, I hate that position when you're from 3 lengths behind the leader and you can't take up the slack. But once she come out from behind the leaders, oh, mate, she's an exciting racehorse.
Yeah.
I'd love to have her going.
On Raw Times, they went fast from start to finish here. This was the standout performance of the day. She was the big talking point going to the meeting, I suppose, up in Sydney in many respects, and she delivered in spades. That was an incredible win. Another sandgroper to the 4.
Yeah, Trope and Gem here is Arcadia Queen now is likely to head straight to the Everest.
Straight to the Everest from here and back in distance from the 1300. It probably looks to me like she's going to need more ground in time, so I think it's going to be a challenge for Chris Waller to keep her fresh and competitive at the 1200 metres, but she's clearly a freak racehorse given her record thus far.
Yeah, I don't know if...
Super Seth.
Well, Super Seth, a 460 there, but Delissan's still 270 and favourite. We mentioned 340 was the opening quote, so it's certainly under that with the weight of bets that's been on the favourite here. Express Pass, the other one at the $7, but as I mentioned, Delissan, the favourite, 270, very...
But, you know, it can be a bogey to horses, we all know that, but we've got to take that chance.
What sort of conversation?
Set for the Group 2 Danehill for the 3-year-old. Stand by. Ready, all clear and away. Your Deal just jibbed to the right there and bumped into your long savings. Strasbourg began quite well. Hawker Hurricane is showing speed. Where are they going at the moment? They're keeping their positions. Delissan is right up there with the leaders, and also Dubious over towards the far side. They're going to huddle up the middle. Dubious led from Delissan, your long savings. Hawker Hurricane, Your Deal behind that wall, followed by Super Seth. Next, Fabulanski, Strasbourg, second last Sebricate, and Express Passes at the end of the field. Heading towards the course proper at the 700 metres. Dubious led by a length, Delissan, your long savings. Then Hawker Hurricane, Your Deal. Super Seth behind those horses over on the far side. Then Fabulanski, Sebricate's one of the widest from Strasbourg, and Express Pass. As they reach the 400 metres, it's Dubious in front, held together by a length and a half. 2 in second, Delissan. Clark's gone for the whip, and then Hawker Hurricane, Sebricate, and Express Pass, who's very wayward. Then Super Seth. Dubious at the 200 metres now. Delissan is digging in. Delissan up to Dubious at the 100. Sebricate and Express Pass. Delissan and Dubious stride for stride. Delissan. Class will get it home. Delissan won it. Second, Dubious. Third, Express Pass, I'd say, from Strasbourg. Super Seth, then Sebricate, Your Deal. Hawker Hurricane, Fabulanski. Your long savings was at the end of the field.
You have seen a serious colt, a colt that has no idea what he's doing, yet he's got immense talent to be able to overcome his waywardness to win, and to win a Group 2 race, the Danehill Stakes. Oh, he's an uber talent. He's 260 and $1.40 today. Dubious improves today with the gear change. The blinkers going on. Express Pass. It's going on Express Pass for Nick Ryan. Well, he's had a Group 2 placing today after only having 2 career starts and a Bendigo maiden win. Wow, wasn't that a performance?
Now the Guinea's favourite, but he's as green as grass.
Yeah, he was a lot better yesterday, I thought. He's still a work in progress, but really, well done to Raquel Clark. We'll talk about her in a moment. I think Corey, having Dubious with the blinkers on leading up here to his inside, really helped Raquel yesterday.
Without a doubt. If she had got there maybe like 50 metres or 100 metres earlier, I'm not saying it makes the difference, but he would have got a lot more lost than what he did. He still got lost. Well, I still think he's got plenty of upside, but yeah, lucky he had the run to his...
Class will get it home. Delissan won it. Second dubious, third express pass.
Again, Matt Hill nailing it. The class got the horse home, but also Raquel Clark's patient ride where she didn't panic because there was 100-metre intervals where you're thinking this horse is not going to win.
Well, I think at the 400, when the horse started to labour and it wanted to lay in a touch, if you were on the horse, you'd probably be a little bit nervous, but the deeper she got into the race, the stronger Dallasan became, and Raquel's now got a 4-from-4 record on the horse, so obviously knows the horse extremely well, and through the line was really strong, but it does have this tendency, when Craig Williams rode it in the size project. Yeah.
As far as the daily sectionals were concerned, they had this ranked the 9 of 9, so it didn't rank that high, and I think when what you back up on the clock with what we saw there yesterday, whilst might not have been great on the clock, he yesterday to me looked like he is looking for a bit of a trip. He's bred for a bit of ground.
Super Seth I thought was a little bit disappointing as well. You know, I know who's
sort of set their sights a little lower with Sabreke.
Yeah, and Super Seth I thought was a little bit disappointing as well. You know, I know who's drawn low, probably not the place to be, but had every chance and just whacked away to the line.
He looked pretty awkward in the run.
Eilish return.
In the Cochrane, yeah, she just didn't really get a crack at them. Held up until basically 50 metres to go. Pippi won that race. That solid form. She'll be fitter. She comes to Flemington, where she's 3 from 3.
Jane Iverley, our fundamentalist, I said that move to $4 was very solid. Open 650, so fairly significant when you look at it into the $4 second favourite. My pendant has been $5.50, just an ease out to the $6, and Spanish Whisper was the other one, $6.50 out to the 7. But fundamentally,
Signal and Racing. Spanish Reef on the inside, dwelt slightly for Delia, the last out. Spanish Whisper began quickly with Miss Siska. Speed towards the outside. Fundamentalist Spanish Reef is probing up on the inner. They were followed by Birdie and Princess Jenny from Camille. Well back in the field in the early part, Elope from Fidelia, My Pendant. Bellaria is at the end. Fundamentalist took it up, heading towards the 1,000 marker by about a length and a half to Miss Siska, followed by Spanish Reef, a length Spanish Whisper. Then came Birdie the outside, followed by Princess Jenny, tracked by Camille, and then Eloisia, Fidelia, My Pendant second, last Bellaria at the end as they come towards the 700 metres. Fundamentalist at quite a good clip by about 2 lengths, Miss Siska, Spanish Reef and Spanish Whisper. Princess Jenny fifth, the inside of Birdie, followed by Camille and Eloisia. Fidelia trapped on the fence, third last from My Pendant, and Bellaria is at the end. They run for the money. 450 metres to go. It's Fundamentalist from Miss Siska, Spanish Whisper 3 deep, Spanish Reef back to the fence. Princess Jenny behind them, followed by Birdie. Fidelia runs up behind them, then My Pendant and Camille. Miss Siska up to Fundamentalist, but Spanish Whisper's right there at the clock tower at the 200. Spanish Whisper took the front from Miss Siska. Fidelia back to the inside, then Birdie. It's Spanish Whisper at the 100 from Miss Siska. Fidelia finishes fast. Spanish Whisper holding on and won it. Spanish Whisper from Fidelia, Miss Siska, Birdie. They were followed by My Pendant, Princess Jenny from Fundamentalist. Behind them, Camille, Eloisia, Bellaria, and Spanish Reef was amongst the tail enders.
A double to Lindsay Park Racing. A beautiful ride by Mark Zara. Had Spanish Whisper just in the right spot. He was camped behind the leaders. And this girl was second up today, and we've seen her in the past. Second up win here at Flemington over the 1,400 metres. She did it in the CUNY back in March. She wins a Let's Elope today. She's a Group 1 performer, and that was a stylish win. Spanish Whisper.
Wasn't much pace on paper, but I suppose it really set it up for you. Yeah, well, I thought, like I say, I drew perfect, so I lobbed in a good spot. Fundamental.
From Princess Jenny, was conceding weight to the remainder of the field.
Well, it was a lovely ride, and it got the pace to suit as well. The first section they went outside on raw figures, outside of the stand, and they picked it up from the 800. The clear run of the race was Fidelia. It was a lovely win to Spanish Whisper. It was the right form. They both come from the same race, yeah, I think the form will stack up all right out of this race. And Fidelia just ended up a spot or two further back, Corey, than I think ideal from that low gate.
Sure. Had sort of no luck getting through really, but Fundamentalist went a little bit solid in itself. Didn't really relax under Luke Nolan and probably took the gas out of. But full credit to Mark Zara. He's got the perfect riding style. He looks great on him. He's got great hands, and he had this horse really relaxed and poised. And yeah, he was the winner a long way out.
His Spanish Whisper's victory
well have been a pattern on the day. I mean, I think that's a little subjective, but what you can be objective about is that the pace of this race definitely played into the hands of Spanish Whisper, and Fidelia was massive. I think she's better building and launching out wide. My Pendant was terrific. But you know, I think Fidelia ran the 4th best final 400 of the day as well at 21.9. So, which she's going to do off a steadier
She's always going to need plenty of luck, Fidelia. I think she's a terrific mare, but her pattern is she's always going to be back in the last sort of 3 or 4.
It seems that way. Could he have been a bit closer?
I don't think so. I think you ride the horse closer. I don't think it's got the same turn of foot at the end. So I think the horse has got to be ridden where it's comfortable. It's got a lethal turn of foot.
It's amazing. You get to the biggest track in Australia, Flemington, yet there seems to be the most hard luck stories out of the meeting. You know, like there's so many horses that were unlucky getting back in the field, having no luck getting through, but yet they're competing on the biggest track in Australia.
I don't think the job favourite here, but the one they've come for is Zutori at the moment, so $6 in from $8.50, open $10, but Demerara I mentioned $4.60 our favourite currently. Malibu Style next best at the $7.50. Usain Bowler $8.50.
75. The field here coming up for the Bobby Lewis quality. It's over 1,200 metres and
1,200 signal and away. Demerara began very speedily with Dothraki. Shahitsi away well with Malibu Style, and it looks as though they're going to run up the middle of the track again. So the leader is Demerara from Dothraki and Streets of Avalon. They're going to virtually split. There's a group of about 8 coming towards the outside fence, headed by Rebel King, who leads Malibu Style, Shahitsi, Zutori, and they were followed in that group of horses settling down into stride by I'm Wesley, and then came Glenelg and Usain Bowler. Then the group coming up the middle, led by Streets of Avalon from Dothraki. Parsifal behind them with Demerara about 4 off the pace. Resin and Rich Itch. So they come towards the 450. Over towards the middle of Streets of Avalon, Dothraki together. Followed by Parsifal, who's tracking into it well from Demerara. Down the outskirts, Malibu Style with Rebel King and Zutori. Plenty of hopes at the 250. Parsifal might just be in front of Dothraki, Streets of Avalon. Then Malibu Style and Zutori right down the outside. It's hard to line them up. Parsifal and Zutori. Zutori's the one. Zutori right down the outside fence has won it. Zutori came away to beat Parsifal, Dothraki, Malibu Style, then Shahitsi. Behind them, Demerara, Rich Itch, and I'm Wesley from Rebel King and Resin. Further back in the field then was Streets of Avalon pulling up quickly from Glenelg, and well back Rebel King and Usain Bowler.
Tears in the mounting yard as Zutori storms down the outside to win for Linda Meach and the Ellerton Zara.
With a superb ride. Zutori had 2 runs through the Queensland Winter Campaign. They said it got on the wrong leg. They brought it back up the straight here. Very impressive victory, and probably credit needs to go also to Parsifal for a very tough on-speed run for Jamie Carr and Will Clark.
Interestingly, one coming from each group. In Quay, we don't see this that often these days. They normally all bunch together, but this time they split into 2 groups.
Yeah, and what about old Dothraki? He's not quite Tom Melbourne, but he always looks the winner somewhere, doesn't he? He ran a bold race, but taking nothing away from the winner, Zutori. I thought she'd give it a sweet ride, Linda Meach. She's another one. I
just think this horse has got lots of upside, and clearly he came to play yesterday. There was money to say that he was going to be ultra competitive. It was about $8.50 on Friday night when I wrote the prices down. He started $5, so you know clearly he's been working well. He's a progressive Zoo Star. I think 1,400 metres to a mile as preparation. He might be well suited in one of the big handicaps at the end of the spring. He's a really talented horse.
Interesting you say.
Handicaps at the end of the spring. He's a really talented horse.
Interesting you say that. I was speaking to Simon Zara, and as of yesterday, they think they might keep him to sprinting trips, keep him on the fresh side. His next start could be the Gilgai in 3 weeks' time, and just train him to be a fresh horse sprinter because he is so effective like that.
Yep.
He was good.
Sensational each-way support, especially at the place, and you'll see it's $10. Kingswood Dream also. So top 4 in the market here are the one the punters are certainly backing, and Kingswood Dream, a good each-way price. I mentioned the $14, but Mystic Journey, very consistent in terms of the betting at $2.10. So I'm going to have a trifecta in this one.
Runner in the field, and it's like taking out those little 1%ers. Lindsay Smith shaved his mane so that there's no chance that...
Amazing horse, isn't he? I mean, of course, he's never really got the plaudits. He kept running into Winx too much, but he is a favourite. He is an Aussie favourite. We claimed him now.
Justice goes on top. I just think that he's at his peak. He's a horse where I don't think there's a lot more...
That price, Mystic Journey got into $2 now, just easing out to $2.05, but certainly some big bets placed on Mystic Journey in this one. Hartnell's the other one, and Kingswood Dream, so both under their opening quotes as well. So top 4 in the market.
He's nice and bright. His work during the week has been good. He had a little gallop, but he's feeling a thing or two. But since he's been down the beach at Warrnambool, I haven't seen any signs of them. And as you...
They're locked away for the Makybe Diva. Group 1. to go. Starter has them, gates are back and away. 50 Stars away cleanly. Night's Watch goes back to a clear last with Humidor. Yucatan sprung the gate well, with also Galo Shop. There's Mystic Journey, Scales of Justice, all there with Kingsville Dream in the early stages. They complete the first 300 metres off the rails. Galo Shop led from Scales of Justice and Kingsville Dream. Gatting's pushing up. Mystic Journey a shade wide, then Yucatan, 50 Stars. Further back, Wafila closer today from Sounder Hood, and then came Hartnell, who's back in the field. Then Mr. Quickie, well back, Night's Watch and Rostropovich, and Humidor is at the end. 1,000 metres to go. Galo Shop, the pilot, as expected by 3/4 Scales of Justice. A length and a half away, Gatting third. A length, Kingsville Dream. A length and a quarter, Mystic Journey. Further back, Wafila, Yucatan and 50 Stars. Hartnell next, 9 off the lead from a Hood and Sound. Then Rostropovich, Mr. Quickie, Night's Watch and Humidor is at the end. Approaching the turn at the 650. It's Galo Shop just in front of Scales of Justice. They were followed by Gatting behind those, then Kingsville Dream, who's trying to edge off the fence. Mystic Journey 4 off the pace, followed by Yucatan, then Quafila, 50 Stars, a Hood and Sound, and Hartnell to the outer. Scales of Justice puts it to Galo Shop at the 300. Gatting on the outside. Mystic Journey is coming now, followed by Kingsville Dream, Yucatan, and then came Hartnell. Gatting up to Scales of Justice at the 200. Mystic Journey is trying to get Gatting. It's leading by 3/4 to Mystic Journey. Still Gatting from Mystic Journey. It's Gatting. It's a massive boilover. Shades of Dandy Andy. Mystic Journey second, third. Mr. Quickie fourth. Hartnell. Then Scales of Justice. Rostropovich, 50 Stars. Kingsville Dream. Back behind them, Night's Watch, Sound. Galo Shop, Yucatan, Rostropovich, a Hood, Humidor, and Quafila has finished at the end of the field. Wow.
There's 10,000 people plus at Flemington. Pick them all off the floor. Can you believe it? Gatting has won the race after running last over 1,300 metres in a listed race at Belmont last start. Gets to 1,600 metres. Jamie Carr jumps on board and at 100+1 wins and defeats Mystic Journey. Mr. Quickie, Hartnell will run fourth. Gatting wins. Jamie Carr.
Well, Jamie Carr, you're not the only one in shock. Everyone here is amazed, but what a gallant effort, beautiful ride, and you've just created a massive upset.
Unbelievable. Look, this horse was just travelling beautifully. You couldn't ask for a better run than he got, and in the straight I was just waiting for something to come past me, and it just got stronger and stronger as we got closer to the line.
A lot of people that...
Confidence, and the trainer gave me a lot of confidence. I shook his hand about half an hour ago. I've never met him before, and look, it's just amazing. I can't believe it.
Congratulations. The whole of Flemington's in shock, but I don't think you are. Your phone's running hot. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, well, go and put the saddle on the next one.
You've just won a Group 1 at Flemington, the Makybe Diva Stakes. Describe your emotions.
Yeah, a little bit sort of, a little bit lost, I guess. Yeah, it's been a average start of the season by our standards, and yeah, just I've got a lot of faith in this horse, and big thanks to all the staff back home, my wife. And
it was 100-1. Did you think that he could win today?
Yeah, 100%. I thought he didn't have things go his way first up. You know, he's got form around horses like Arcadia Queen, and we just saw one in Sydney, and yeah, he's a good horse. So.
And he's one of the many of them, and Scales of Justice has shown that recently too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think we've raced Scales of Justice a couple of times and we beat him every time, you know, and also horses, a couple other stayers that have gone through Jared McLean's stables. Can't name escapes me at the moment, but yeah. So look, we're a good horse. He's got a Group 1 now, so it's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us
their performances in a moment, but Clinton Hutchison. Gatting, again, from a speed map perspective and where it landed, probably couldn't have been better for Jamie Carr, and she just gave it an absolutely beautiful ride, rated it perfectly, and time to win.
Yeah, she landed in a good spot. There was good speed. They were well inside of, on the raw times inside of the section. I think the first section might have been about 5.5 lengths, and they really went a strong tempo, and it never really subsided. I thought Anthony Diamond at this stage of the race popped into a lovely spot. No criticism on the ride there. I thought he gave her every chance, and ultimately, if you found the winner, well done, Corey, but she landed in a beautiful spot, Jamie.
She did.
Hartnell to the outer. Scales of Justice puts it to Galo's shop at the 300. Gatting on the outside. Mystic Journey is coming now, followed by Kingsville, Dream Yucatan, and then came Hartnell. Gatting up to Scales of Justice at the 200. Mystic Journey is trying to get Gatting. It's leading by 3/4 to Mystic Journey. Still Gatting from Mystic Journey. It's Gatting. It's a massive boil over. Shades of Dandy Andy. Mystic Journey second, third. Mr. Quickie fourth. Hartnell.
Shades of Dandy Andy. Outstanding call by Matt Hill, and pretty poignant one as well, because it was something that no one had really foreseen. This is a horse that had campaigned for the second straight year effectively through the Perth winter races. There's a series of black type races, and then Darren McAuliffe brought a fit horse to Flemington, but no one would have expected that.
No, went out at 100 to 1, but it is what it is, and I suppose it was a funny sort of pace race. There was a lot of noise, of course, with the connections of the winner, but 100 to go, it looked like Betty was just going to overhaul Gatting, and most eyes were on her. I tell you what, Mr. Quickie, what a performance. He had the best last 6'4", 200 of the day. He was held up. He ran his last 210.8 off that speed. I think what we've got to also appreciate, I mean, they didn't come back to them per se, but I think on a firmer track or a good 3, it's never as easy to reel them in, is it? So
there was certainly a pattern yesterday where the horses that settled in the first 3 or 4 tended to dominate, and even though there was a genuine tempo in that race, it was still dominated from the front. Yeah. And Gatting, leaving its
and he said that he might have felt the 4 weeks between runs just had her feeling a bit fresh. Particularly, he noticed a difference on the way to the gates, that she was more keen than she usually is. And of course, her last 200-metre split was that of a tiring horse to an extent compared to some of those that were closing late over the top of her. But what Anthony also said was it was just really significant that the winner, Jamie Carr, just kept kicking, and that's what we saw in the end, essentially.
Would continue, she'd go to the Turnbull from here, I'd imagine.
It hasn't been defined yet, but that is the likely next step, 3 weeks into the Turnbull. Another good quote from Anthony Darmanin yesterday is the step out to 2,000 metres at her next start. We'll find out pretty quickly whether she stays or not, and if she goes there, the drop back to the Golden Eagle is still an option.
She should stay if she's blind needs further. So she probably needs more ground.
Ding, ding.
That would make sense.
Don't use all your good stuff early, son, mate. Sectionals late, 53 kilos now into Caulfield Cup favouritism. There was a lot to like first up.
Yeah, whatever. He was. I think everyone saw him, didn't they? And I think even at this early stage, I would say he's got a great chance to win the Caulfield Cup because of the weights he's in. He's proven at that level, and you look at his overall.
We got to see Arcadia Queen in Sydney, and already 2 Group 1s in Melbourne, both Perth horses, Scales of Justice, and this one, Gatting, at massive odds, beating the Pride of Tasmania, Mystic Journey.
And 2 great rides, first and second. Have a look at Mr. Quickie last here in the white blinkers. Wow. What a performance him. There's 2 Melbourne Cup, Caulfield Cup 2020 written all over him. But the talking point is the Gatting. She loomed to him, Mystic Journey. She was going to put him away. I know she was a month between runs and second up there, but
there was reports he said that she was a little bit keen in herself. He thought that took off.
Okay,
well, her finishing.
Adam knows her better than anyone, and and obviously Anthony rides as well. But geez, he put her into a lovely position, 1 out, 1 back.
Absolutely, and you've got to remember he was.
I know she was a month between runs and second up there, but
there was reports he said that she was a little bit keen in herself. He thought that took off.
Okay, well,
her finishing.
Adam knows her better than anyone, and and obviously Anthony rides as well. But geez, he put her into a lovely position, 1 out, 1 back.
Absolutely, and you've got to remember he was 100 to 1, the horse.
Yeah.
Well done to Darren.